you guys would perform together and there wasn't tension, there wasn't what happened, you still had that?
How did you owe Sonny money?
Because I was like, well,
Excuse us, let me find out how this...
Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner are officially getting divorced.
In August 2023, shocking news emerged that Natalie and Benjamin had separated after 11 years of marriage.
Selena Gomez, you need to run, girl. Far, far away from your husband, Benny Blanco. Yes, everyone on the internet is calling on Selena to divorce Benny, even though they've only been married for 5 months. Now, let's be clear. Before they even got married, people were telling Selena to break up with Benny, as fans have said that he's disgusting and continually embarrasses Selena. But let's start with the newest drama. Benny just launched a podcast, and the first episode came with a lot of controversy. First off, they included a clip of Benny farting into the microphone. Now, a lot of people found this gross and off-putting, but then people noticed that in the video, Benny wasn't wearing shoes or socks, he was barefoot. And I know what you're thinking, okay, Emily, what's so weird about that? Well, the fact is that his feet were so dirty they were black, and they were on the couch. Now this has people concerned if his house is that dirty and that he doesn't care about cleanliness. Also, the fact that Benny didn't even notice that his feet were like that is a red flag within itself. Now, fans online went crazy over this. The fact that his feet are actually that filthy makes me sick to my stomach, like Selena girl, what's going on? One person said, while another added, this is disgusting and I don't know how Selena is dealing with this. Now a third candidly called for Selena to split from her husband of 5 months as they begged Selena needs to divorce him and find someone better. And let's be clear, this isn't the first time Selena has faced scrutiny about being with Benny. When their relationship first became public, people couldn't believe that Selena would date someone like Benny, as people online mocked his appearance and claimed that no one as beautiful as Selena could be with an ugly man like Benny. And I mean, this was highlighted by comedian Nikki Glazer's brutal jab at Benny during her opening monologue at the 2025 Golden Globes. Now, fans have questioned the pairing based largely on looks rather than character or compatibility. But also, this isn't the first time that fans have called Benny gross. In a 2024 People article, Benny said that he also doesn't shower. He said, I don't believe in always shampooing your hair or conditioning your hair. I'm really clean, but I don't shower every day. Some people I know shower 2 to 3 times a day, but I feel like the oils in your skin don't have time to rejuvenate and get juicy. I also like to use a hodgepodge. I want to smell like tobacco, but also cotton candy. I want there to be an aroma as I'm walking by. Now, in a different interview, he added that on the rare occasions that he does shower, he always sits down so he can cry and contemplate death realizations. So yeah, there's that. And yes, okay, Benny seems to have some gross habits that are displayed to the world, but who says Selena doesn't have weird quirks behind closed doors? I don't know. I think some people are just too quick to judge. I mean, it's their relationship and we don't know everything about it, now do we?
Could a divorce for Justin and Hailey Bieber be on the horizon for the new year? 2026 might be the year they say, we're done. Okay, let's talk about Justin and Hailey Bieber, the couple that has been trying so hard to convince the world they're fine, that it has officially become the biggest red flag of the decade. I mean, if you have to repeatedly announce that you're good, strong, and taking things day by day, you're not announcing stability, you're announcing the countdown to your divorce. Let's start with Justin, because this man has spent the last 2 years expressing his feelings exclusively through Instagram captions that read like the diary entries of someone who just discovered heartbreak for the very first time. I mean, at one point, he wrote a whole paragraph confessing that he's broken, angry, fragile, struggling, everything except happy in his marriage. These weren't cryptic quotes, these were the emotional equivalent of a flashing neon sign that says, my marriage is on fire and I'm standing in the flames with an acoustic guitar. Meanwhile, Hailey has been posting her own curated kind of melancholy stuff. I mean, she's dropping lines like, I am imperfect, I have been rejected, and I still have purpose, which is exactly the kind of thing you post after realizing, affirmations won't fix a relationship that feels like a group project where you're the only one doing the work. And when she said they were just taking it, a day at a time, every therapist worldwide quietly raised an eyebrow. Nobody who's in a healthy marriage says we're taking it a day at a time. That's what you say when your relationship is on the same life support machine as a plant you forgot to water for 3 weeks. And let's talk about the dynamic here, because these two have an energy that screams, we love each other, but we don't actually like each other. The vibes are tense. Justin has publicly shaded Hailey more than once, like when he told her she'd never be on the cover of Vogue, and then she went and landed the cover of Vogue, and he posted it with the enthusiasm of a man who just realized his wife exceeded a standard he set as a joke. That is not support. That is embarrassment disguised as pride. I mean, their public moments don't help either. They look like a couple whose arguments start with, I'm fine, and end with one of them crying in a Range Rover while paparazzi zoom in from across the street. And yes, they've got a kid now, but adding a baby to a shaky foundation doesn't magically fix anything. We all know that. It just means now there's a witness to all of this. The truth is their entire marriage feels like two people trying to heal a million emotional wounds with, aesthetically pleasing photos, vacation montages, and PR-approved statements. But behind the scenes, the cracks are loud, the energy is off, the chemistry is giving situationship that accidentally got a marriage certificate. Every year people say they won't make it, and every year they do, but barely. And now, after all the emotional breakdowns, cold body language, sad interviews, and oddly timed spiritual quotes, it genuinely feels like both of them are living in separate realities and occasionally scheduling a kiss for optics. So yeah, I don't know. Is 2026 the year Justin and Hailey finally call it quits? Honestly, the evidence isn't subtle. I mean, when you have two people broadcasting emotional distress like it's free Wi-Fi, that's not a couple that stays married forever. That's a couple kind of inching closer and closer to filing a divorce and releasing matching notes app statements about love, respect, and growth. I mean, at this point, the divorce papers are basically warming up in the bullpen, and honestly, it might be the best thing for both of them, because when your marriage causes more emotional monologues than a Taylor Swift album and more cryptic posts than a teenage breakup, that's not romance. That's a storyline waiting to happen. And 2026 is looking like the year that this storyline finally drops.
Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis's marriage is in serious trouble, and insiders are now saying things are worse than fans thought. Fans used to gush about them as the cute Hollywood couple. Now they're whispering that Ashton has checked out emotionally, while Mila feels isolated, frustrated, and alone in the relationship. And it's not just rumors. Friends are raising red flags. Let's get this straight. Ashton Kutcher isn't ignoring his marriage because he's jet-setting for romantic getaways. No, according to insiders, he's so absorbed in the tech world and his latest business obsessions that he's barely present at home. Sources say Ashton's focus has shifted entirely to networking with tech bros, investing, and building his second career, leaving Mila to deal with life, kids, and Hollywood on her own. Friends are reportedly worried that Ashton's priorities are so out of balance that Mila is left feeling very isolated. A pretty brutal description for someone who's supposed to be your partner for life. And here's where it gets even messier. Sources who've known them for years say things have changed dramatically in recent months. According to insiders, Mila and Ashton no longer share the same energy, goals, or even the same circle of friends. And that's exactly how marriages crack and collapse behind closed doors. One friend reportedly warned Ashton that he's lost interest in building a life with Mila like he used to, because all of his energy is tied up with tech events, fundraisers, and business lunches with new associates. Now, let's talk about isolation. Not as some cute quote on a coffee mug, but the real buzzword insiders are using. According to reports, Mila doesn't want to give up her Hollywood life or her career, and she doesn't want to be left alone raising their kids while Ashton chases deals and board memberships across Silicon Valley. That's not tension. That's a relationship growing apart. When one partner feels sidelined and the other is emotionally unavailable, flames go out fast, and the pressure is only getting worse. Fans haven't forgotten past controversies, like the backlash over their apology letters supporting convicted that 70s show co-star Danny Masterson, which still haunts their public image online. Even when they try to appear united on red carpets, some fans are now shouting that they're not forgiven and their public smiles look more like PR damage control than real happiness. That's the kind of heat that gets under a couple's skin when the cameras stop rolling. Head out together, coordinated denim looks, Rome strolls, even family vacations. But insiders say those moments are more about saving face than saving a marriage. It's the old Hollywood playbook. Look happy in paparazzi pics, ignore the cracks nobody sees off camera. But when people who actually know you are saying things like, he needs to step up, You know it's past denial. So what's really going on with Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis? Are they heading for divorce or just in the worst rough patch of their marriage? Here's the brutal takeaway. When one spouse checks out emotionally and invests their time elsewhere, it's not just trouble, it's a slow unraveling. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is this marriage on the rocks, or are they just weathering a storm Hollywood style?
Something is seriously wrong with Benny Blanco, and yes, the clips are terrifyingly uncomfortable. Since marrying Selena Gomez, the internet is panicking, and nobody wanted to say this until now. Look, they should be Hollywood's power couple. She's a global icon, he's a hitmaker, but something weird is happening behind the glamour. Ever since that Santa Barbara wedding, the internet isn't just talking, it's obsessing. Fans started noticing strange behavior and hilarious but cringe habits from Benny, like that Golden Globes chewing gum moment people couldn't unsee. Fans called it nasty, open-mouth chewing, and straight up distracting on camera. People were like, tell him to stop on Twitter and on Threads. And it didn't stop at gum chewing. Every camera cut had people talking. One comment said it made them want to punch a hole in the wall. That's not love, that's Monday morning tantrum energy. Now fans online have actually started roasting the whole relationship. Some saying Benny just looks uninterested, like he's not even in it unless the cameras are on him. Some Reddit threads brutally claim that Selena chased him and that he never really gave love back. Now that's a hard narrative. Then there's the other side of this story. Selena herself recently opened up about how she cried and feared the worst right after their wedding. She said that even amid the happiest moment of her life, her brain went straight to, what if this all goes wrong tomorrow, and sobbed. Now that's raw vulnerability, not a PR spin. Fans took that though and ran with it. Some supportive, some saying it's signs of insecurity, others saying it's just pressure from fame. Either way though, people are talking. And fan reactions, well, it's mixed chaos. Some fans are straight up shading the couple's Golden Globes appearance, saying they didn't even look like a couple. Commenters insist that they looked like a mess and claimed that there was zero chemistry. Oof. Others insisted that Selena's the one putting in all the emotional work and Benny's just there for the front row perks. Yikes. Now, you have to see social posts, memes about Benny's habits, clips gone viral, people mocking everything from gum to awkward expressions, and it's like watching a reality show without the producers. Commentary's wild, from supportive to savage, and that split makes everyone talk even more. Now, just at the 2026 Golden Globes, they were supposed to be the picture-perfect newlyweds, Selena glowing in Chanel and Benny beside her. They even hit a diner afterwards, like total relatable couple goals, but even amid the glam and the PDA, the online narrative was already writing itself. Is this just pressure, a weird habit, or a sign that their marriage isn't what it looks like? That's the tea everyone's sipping. So tell me, is this just quirky celebrity behavior, or is there something seriously weird going on with Benny Blanco's energy since marrying Selena Gomez? Comment team concerned or team it's nothing below.
Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz may be headed towards a divorce sooner than we thought. So Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz are officially giving marriage under pressure. No, this isn't just tabloids being dramatic. This is a full-blown family implosion with billionaire in-laws, image control, and decades of Beckham branding crashing headfirst into a very young marriage. Because right now, Brooklyn isn't just distancing himself from his famous parents, he's publicly choosing sides, and the side he's choosing is Nicola. Now, sources close to the situation say Brooklyn has become completely estranged from David and Victoria Beckham, and the reason allegedly is Nicola. Now, or more specifically, his decision to actually defend her at all costs, even if it means torching his relationship with his own family. And, you know, that's where things start getting getting messy. According to reports, the tension that's actually between Nicola and Victoria didn't magically just kind of appear out of nowhere. It's actually been simmering since the wedding, the infamous wedding, the one that was supposed to be a fairy tale and instead turned into a Cold War with floral arrangements. Yeah, the dress drama alone was enough to fuel headlines for, years to come. Now, Nicola didn't wear a Victoria Beckham gown despite early plans, and that reportedly struck a nerve, and from there, everything escalated. I mean, passive comments, hurt feelings, power struggles, and control issues disguised as, misunderstandings. But here's where it gets interesting. Brooklyn is no longer playing neutral. Behind the scenes, insiders say Brooklyn feels his parents have repeatedly crossed boundaries in his marriage, that they've inserted themselves, questioned decisions, and treated Nicola less like his wife and more like a problem that needed to be managed. And Brooklyn, he's had enough. He's reportedly told friends that his loyalty is with his wife, full stop, period. He also said that Nicola makes him feel supported, understood, and protected, things he allegedly hasn't felt with his own family for a very long time, which is a big statement when your parents are literally David and Victoria Beckham. And this is where people start whispering the word divorce, because when a marriage becomes the center of a family fractured this deep, the pressure is unreal. On one side, you've got a woman who comes from extreme wealth, who doesn't need the Beckham name, who doesn't rely on their brand, and who isn't interested in playing polite when she feels disrespected. And on the other side, you've got a family whose entire legacy is built on image, loyalty, and, control of the narrative. Also, allegedly, the parents have said, that they won't talk to him unless he splits from her, which is crazy. So Brooklyn, of course, is stuck in the middle, except lately he's not in the middle at all. He's fully aligned with Nicola, and friends of the Beckhams say David and Victoria are devastated. I mean, they feel blindsided. They believe Nicola has pulled Brooklyn away from them and created distance that didn't need to exist. But people close to Brooklyn, they see it very differently. They say this isn't Nicola isolating him, it's Brooklyn finally setting boundaries. And if that's true, that's a dangerous emotional position for a young marriage to be in, because when you cut off your entire support system for your partner, the relationship suddenly has to carry everything, every, disagreement, every bad day, every crack. That's when resentment creeps in. And that's why people are watching this marriage so closely, because while Brooklyn is publicly standing firm, insiders say the pressure behind closed doors is intense. He's balancing loyalty to his wife with unresolved pain from his parents, and that emotional weight doesn't just disappear because you post a cute little Instagram photo. Nicola, meanwhile, is said to feel constantly blamed, like no matter what happens, she's the villain or the woman who took their son away. But the question is whether this marriage can survive being the battleground for one of the most famous families in the world, because love is one thing, but love under this much pressure, that's where cracks start to show. And if this keeps escalating, don't be surprised if headed towards divorce stops sounding like less speculation and starts sounding like a headline that finally comes true. Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel aren't exactly living in marital bliss, and I've got some tea on that. Let's get straight into it. Justin Timberlake, ex-boy band heartthrob, solo pop legend, actor, king of sexy back, and Jessica Biel, A-list Hollywood actress, mom, producer, have been married since 2012. But peel back the red carpet gloss and what looks like a fairy tale in tabloids might actually be a struggle. Now, this isn't your typical they had a fight at brunch celebrity drama. No, insiders have told outlets that Jessica Biel has been frustrated with Justin's alleged lack of effort to actually, help with their marriage, especially at a time when his schedule should have given him space to focus on family. And yeah, it doesn't stop there. Sources have even described the couple's marriage as having little to no intimacy, a dry, passionless dynamic that would be tough for any relationship, let alone, one always in the public eye. To understand why this is such a topic, we have to rewind a little bit. Justin Timberlake doesn't exactly have a spotless reputation when it comes to relationships. Even before Jessica, his history was, punctuated with rumors and controversies, from the infamous Crimea River era, and all the speculation about Britney Spears, to flirtation scandals and very public celebrity moments that kept his name in gossip columns. Now, that particular pattern didn't magically disappear once he married Biel. I mean, in 2019, Justin was photographed hand in hand with his Palmer co-star in New Orleans, cozy enough for a public apology. He ended up deleting the post, claiming it was a lapse in judgment and blaming, alcohol, while insisting nothing happened physically. Okay. That's the kind of message the public remembers, and one that sparks serious public gossip about, fidelity. But fast forward to the marriage years and things started getting, let's just say, weirder. Despite the couple's long history of reaffirming their love publicly, including, birthday posts, anniversary shoutouts, sources more recently paint a picture of strain. People close to Biel reportedly feel that Timberlake is not doing enough to actively contribute to fixing problems, even though his work plate isn't overloaded. So that's a telling detail, a husband who appears too busy for growth in his marriage, even when he has time. Then there's the matter of distance, emotional and otherwise. One report described Biel and Timberlake as being like day and night, as if they just don't relate to each other the way they once did. And, if that weren't enough, some outlets even floated the possibility that this marriage, already public and complicated, could be in a precarious place, with gossip fueling speculation around a potential split down the road. Meanwhile, Timberlake, been handling his own personal curveballs too, widely covered DWI arrest in 2024, embarrassed the whole family, it was in public, it added stress, and reportedly didn't win him any brownie points at home. So let's be clear, this isn't just tabloid, fever or whatever. Multiple outlets have reported on marital strain and lack of intimacy between Jessica and Justin, even after years together. Jessica's frustration at Justin's perceived lack of effort to improve things, energy and connection issues they've publicly, been described as facing, and ongoing speculation that this isn't a settled, happy Hollywood marriage story, the way PR might want you to think it is. But here's the twist. Every time rumors wind up circling, the drain, Justin and Jessica both come out with statements or public posts about how committed they are, how much they love each other, and how they're working through it. That's the Hollywood duality, struggle behind the scenes, positivity on the surface. So what's really going on? Is Jessica Biel quietly reevaluating her marriage to a man who makes headlines for scandal more than romance? Is Justin Timberlake quietly trying to fix things but losing traction with time and missteps? Honestly, probably a bit of both, just like many relationships not happening under the spotlight of millions every day. At the end of the day, a marriage can never just be about the glamorous photos. And in this case, the report suggests the gloss might be hiding a lot more conflict, frustration, and emotional distance than fans ever expected. Is Kristen Bell trapped in a toxic marriage? Let's dig into it. Lock in with me. The internet just collectively short-circuited after she casually said something that absolutely detonated her carefully curated Hollywood healthy marriage image. Now, Kristen Bell, America's quirky, relatable sweetheart, openly admitted that she doesn't really care if her husband, Shepard, cheats on her. And no, she didn't whisper it in like a therapy session. She said it out loud in an interview like it was a normal Tuesday thought. And the moment that sentence left her mouth, well, people stopped hearing nuance and started hearing sirens. Her logic was basically this: humans are attracted to other humans. Marriage doesn't magically turn your eyes off, and pretending otherwise is kind of delusional. She framed it as honesty, emotional maturity, and realism. The internet framed it as blink twice if you're trapped. Because let's be real for a second, when a woman says she wouldn't care if her husband cheated on her, people don't hear confidence, they hear resignation, they hear coping, they hear someone who's talked themselves into accepting less than they deserve, especially when that husband is Shepard, a man who has openly talked about his past cheating, substance dependency issues, and just emotional chaos for literal years on his podcast. So timing did her absolutely no favors either, because this comment resurfaced right after Kristen posted that deeply uncomfortable anniversary message where she joked that Dax once said he would never unalive her, even though he had every incentive to. And yeah, she probably meant it as dark humor, but the internet read it and collectively went, girl, are you okay? Honestly, people were not laughing, they were concerned. And when you combine that post with her cheating comments, suddenly it stopped sounding like edgy humor and started sounding like someone normalizing dysfunction because it's easier than unpacking it. And that's where the toxic marriage conversation really kicked off. Even recently on a podcast, Dax admitted that he enjoys flirting with other people, and his close friend Monica Padman, who was the host of the podcast, told him, maybe you lost that right when you got married. He responded, well, in typical Dax Shepard way, saying he basically just likes to flirt. Okay, so Kristen and Dax have always branded themselves as brutally honest, therapy-obsessed, self-aware adults who fight hard but love harder. They've talked openly about, screaming matches, resentment, attraction to other people, and the constant work it takes to stay together. But there's a fine line between transparency and oversharing, to the point where people start questioning whether you're actually happy or just committed to the narrative of being real. Kristen tried to clarify that she wasn't saying cheating is okay, just that attraction is inevitable, and it's what you do with it that matters. But here's the issue. That explanation only works when your relationship doesn't already have visible cracks, when the public already knows your partner has a history of cheating. That clarification stops sounding philosophical and start sounding like pre-forgiveness, and Dax didn't exactly help. I mean, instead of shutting it down cleanly, he kind of leaned into jokes, sarcasm, and podcast-style deflection, which only fueled the idea that this marriage survives on humor instead of boundaries. He even had to publicly clarify that they're not swingers, they're not in an open marriage, and not quietly redefining monogamy behind closed doors, because rumors had spiraled that far. But here's the uncomfortable part nobody actually wants to say out loud, but I will. Sometimes people normalize behavior not because they're enlightened, but because accepting it feels safer than confronting the possibility that your needs aren't being met. Kristen's comment didn't sound like someone empowered by trust. It sounded like someone emotionally detaching from a scenario because engaging with it would just hurt entirely too much. There's also a power imbalance people ignore. Kristen Bell is widely successful, yes, but she's also an emotional stabilizer in the relationship. She's the caretaker, the communicator, the one constantly framing chaos as character. And when that person says they wouldn't care if their partner cheated on them, it raises a bigger question. Who is doing the compromising and who is benefiting from it? This isn't about judging how people structure their marriages. It's about optics, patterns, and what happens when being chill starts looking a lot like emotional self-abandonment. Kristen might genuinely feel secure enough not to spiral over a hypothetical, or she might be doing what a lot of women do when they love someone complicated, redefining expectations so they hurt less when they're violated. And the reason this went viral isn't because people hate her, it's because they recognize the dynamic. They've seen it, they've lived it, they told themselves the same stories to survive toxic relationships that ask them to bend further than they ever should have. Whether Kristen wants to admit it or not, the red flags aren't hypotheticals. They've been public for years.
Divorce rumors are exploding around Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra after one viral Golden Globes clip, and social media is losing it. So let's dig in. Here's what kicked off. At the 2026 Golden Globes, Nick Jonas was caught stepping outside mid-show alone. In a viral video, the internet instantly flipped over. Fans started screaming, "Something's wrong," and of course, divorce rumors hit at warp speed. But wait, before the rumor mill goes full meltdown, Nick actually explained why he walked out. He said the awards show noise triggered his social anxiety, hitting him like a gut punch, and fans actually rallied behind him for speaking openly about it. Now, of course, some corners of the internet did not wait for facts. Clips of Nick alone sparked comments like "divorce coming soon," and strangers online began breaking down their body language like amateur therapists. One user even tweeted that their chemistry looked non-existent, saying Nick looked annoyed while Priyanka looked confused. That's the fuel that ignites the headline fire. And let's rewind, as this isn't the first time people have read too much into this couple. At the 2025 Met Gala, body language experts and social media detectives claimed that their red carpet energy was tense, awkward, and less romantic than usual. Experts said they looked strained, less tactile, and not as playful as we're used to. And fans immediately spun that into trouble in paradise. And years before all of this, relationship analysts listed some supposed red flags, like Nick sometimes photographed without his wedding ring, and the couple spending weeks apart due to work commitments. But here's the catch. Experts also point out many reasons this doesn't mean divorce, like how they still show affection publicly, support each other's careers, and celebrate being a family. Not everything is doom and gloom, but gossip culture loves distraction. Now, back at the Golden Globes, Nick didn't disappear for a romantic escape from Priyanka. He literally took a breather due to social anxiety, which he linked to his new song Gut Punch, as he discussed before in relation to his mental health. Meanwhile, Priyanka slayed the red carpet in custom Dior, fixed his bow tie in a cute moment, and later shared behind-the-scenes date night vibes on social media. But of course, some fans can't see that without twisting it into a headline. So why is the internet so ready to write them off? Part of it's simply celebrity culture. People love seeing a perfect couple fall apart. Plus, long work schedules, different cultural backgrounds, and past bouts of awkward body language keep fueling speculation online, despite no confirmed breakup. Comment threads are wild, with fans dissecting every photo, video, and split-second moment, a reminder that fans can create drama faster than Hollywood publicists can stomp it out. But let's look at the actual moments from them. Nick and Priyanka walking the carpet together, Priyanka adjusting his tie playfully, romantic getaway clips on Instagram where they're clearly affectionate. That doesn't scream divorce imminent, it screams Hollywood couple under a microscope.
Justin Bieber has been all the talk. His Instagram lives are concerning. His aura is on -1,000, and this is proof Hailey needs to divorce him ASAP. Hailey Bieber has unfollowed her husband Justin Bieber on Instagram, fueling marital strain and speculations of divorce, which many fans are thrilled about because they are basically begging her to file for divorce like yesterday. This unfollowing on Instagram has been raising concerns about issues in their new marriage. The move came to attention on Sunday, March 30th, when Justin shared several cryptic posts on his stories over the course of the day, and about 2 months ago, the singer unfollowed his wife on the social media platform, a move he later clarified as a consequence of being hacked. However, fans now question whether Hailey's unfollowing him is deliberate or a glitch. Fueling the rumors, Hailey recently posted a TikTok meme joking that she would be a bad therapist because she would need to see a photo of the heartbreaker. Her post said, "I'd be a terrible therapist because I'd want to see a pic of the person you're crying about." Now, this cryptic post has further fueled speculation among fans about the status of the couple's relationship. The drama only escalated when Justin shared pictures of himself smoking the green herbs and made more posts alluding to illegal substance usage on his Instagram story last week. The instances were heavily judged and raised doubts about his acts. Now, in contrast, Hailey has reportedly taken down a series of photos with the couple from her Instagram feed. The couple has been under rumors of, marital discord since last year. Although speculation dwindled following the arrival of their child, still fans speculate that Justin's, recent activities could be a result of the engagement of his former girlfriend, Selena Gomez, to his frequent music collaborator and friend, should I say, Benny Blanco. Now, recently, Hailey and Justin were reported to be dealing with a lot of stress, causing a strain in their relationship, of course, and they started going to couples therapy, which is good. A source close to the, pair actually went on record to say they're doing tons of therapy to try and nip this all in the bud. Justin Bieber had reportedly deactivated, though, his Instagram account for 7 minutes, as per another fan, which is why, his account has been showing unfollowed by all of his former followers, not just Hailey Bieber. Now, Hailey has now since spoken out about the alleged unfollowing situation. She responded to a TikTok clarifying that it was nothing more than a glitch. Her response said, "It's a glitch. Didn't unfollow him. Hope this helps." As of right now, yes, I checked. She is following him. He is following her. All is well in La La Land. Things haven't been great or even good, though. The arrival of their son, Jack Blues Bieber, in 2024 seemed to fuel the already persistent divorce rumors surrounding the new parents. Despite the joy, of welcoming a new baby, the couple found themselves facing constant speculation about the status of their marriage. Justin's super unusual social media posts, including photos, videos, and going on live, often showcasing a very somber and withdrawn, uninterested persona and demeanor. That's only added to the public's concern about his well-being and the couple's relationship. Now, despite all of this, Hailey and Justin have remained a united front, consistently dismissing claims of any strain on their marriage, and they have continued to publicly demonstrate their love and support for one another, hoping to silence the persistent whispers of trouble between them. This incident, while seemingly minor, adds a lot of fuel to the fire, though, of ongoing speculation. The constant scrutiny and rumors are a reminder of the immense pressure that comes with being in the public eye, especially for high-profile couples like Hailey and Justin. Justin has been trying to keep the rumors at a minimum. He recently took to his Instagram to share pictures of his wife. He posted 3 images of her, keeping her fashion game on point. The supermodel is seen wearing a stylish black crop top under a short black leather jacket, comfortable black jeans, and black shoes. Now, additionally, her short, straight hair, nude makeup, and black sunglasses feel like a little cherry on top. In the first picture, Hailey Bieber is striking a savage pose as she shows her middle finger to the camera. This action, along with, a focus on her wedding ring, might be perceived as the couple's, shut up call to the people spreading their split rumors. After this savage post, Justin Bieber dropped another photo of Hailey Bieber sitting in a car. Previously, he shared an adorable picture of the businesswoman from a cafe. Recently, the power couple was also spotted spending quality time with their friends. The couple's divorce rumors originated due to Hailey Bieber's cryptic posts on Instagram. However, she addressed the rumors by reposting a TikTok video that said, "You're not well and it's okay." She wrote the caption, "Me to all of you on the internet." Justin Bieber continued to spark fan fears with a disturbing live stream video over the weekend. The baby hitmaker was shirtless and appeared hollow-eyed and gaunt as he played some raw demos for fans on Instagram. Justin rapped along to the explicit lyrics, holding the camera very close to his face and gesturing with his hands. Now, later in the live, the singer, who recently sparked concern with posts about feeling as if he was drowning and unsafe, covered up his head in an orange blanket. The video quickly went viral on social media, with fans expressing concern for the pop superstar, whose wife Hailey Bieber recently broke her silence after unfollowing Justin on Instagram following the live stream. One person wrote, "Yeah, there's no denying it anymore. Poor guy needs help." Another person said, "It is concerning. I hope he gets professional help. That's sad." Another person added that their heart is just breaking for him and prays that he heals, as we all do. Justin also took to his Instagram stories with a number of photos, including a close-up of him wearing a turban, and another snap actually showed him in a blue face covering with just his eyes actually visible. There's also a pouty selfie of himself, and he also shared an affirmation which read, "God brings, God comes, God lends, God mends, God reaches in, God does what I could never do." Now, earlier on Monday, Hailey broke her silence about unfollowing Justin on Instagram amid swirling rumors, about the state of their marriage. The model did take to TikTok again to reveal, what really happened, because fans noticed that she unfollowed her partner when he started posting bizarre videos and photos online all over the course of the weekend. She did write, that it was a glitch and that she didn't unfollow him, and she hopes that it helps, that she clarified that up. As of now, of course, like I mentioned, Hailey is still following Justin, so that's good. Now, concerns over their marriage have only grown in recent weeks, though, with fans alarmed by Justin's increasingly unkept appearance and, his airing out of emotional struggles on social media, as well as him unfollowing his father-in-law, Stephen Baldwin. Now, he was recently accused of disrespecting his wife after he uploaded a photo of a child flashing their middle fingers, along with the text that said, "Me behind my girlfriend after she makes me mad." Now, on Sunday, Justin gave a rare glimpse of the couple's son, Jack Blues, in a series of adorable family pictures shared to his main Instagram page. The father-son duo seemingly enjoyed the warmer weather while resting on what appeared to be an outdoor patio. Just the night before, though, Justin stepped out for a solo dinner at the same restaurant that Hailey had dinner with pal Kendall Jenner. Now, however, the gal pals left right before him, leaving Justin to enjoy his meal on his own before heading to watch a movie by himself. Justin also recently made another mental health confession after candidly opening up about his emotional struggles on social media this month. It might be time to take a break, buddy. Now, on Instagram, he uploaded a video of a jam session with other musician, pals, and wrote, "I think I hate myself sometimes when I feel myself start to become inauthentic. Then I remember we're all being made to think we're not enough, but I still hate when I change myself to please people." Now, it came shortly after the star admitted to having anger issues in another online post. He further fueled worry among fans when he posted about feeling like a fraud and unworthy in a message, shared his Instagram stories. Justin fueled worry among fans once again when he shared photos of himself smoking from what appeared to be a bong. Now, late last month, Justin's rep addressed worries over his disheveled appearance in a statement to TMZ. The rep said, "The reoccurring narrative that Justin is using hard substances is absolutely not true," adding that the performer is currently in one of the best places of his life. It doesn't look that way. Now, the star is also actively parenting his newborn son Jack with wife Hailey and putting focus into making new music. Now, according to the rep, Justin has had a very transformative year and ended several close friendships and business relationships that just no longer serve him. Hailey's friends and family and fans are urging her to leave him immediately because of his unacceptable behavior. Now, due to the rumored marital issues between Justin and Hailey, fans have become more worried about him in recent weeks. Hailey's friends are reportedly suggesting that they dissolve their marriage. Now, Hailey and Justin have been at odds since the beginning of their marriage, according to, many reports. Although he is a loose cannon, she adores him deeply. Now, the couple have been the subject of split rumors despite their full-on display of unity. Justin Bieber shared some messages on social media towards the end of December, implying that the couple had actually split up. He wrote as the caption for a video he posted on Instagram, "Co-parenting is failing." Stefani. Now, the phrase co-parenting typically refers to a couple raising their kids after a separation or divorce. Whether they will head for divorce or not is unsure, but one thing is for certain is that her friends and fans are hoping they do. And that's not coming from a place of, being quote unquote like a hater. It's just coming from a place of concern. Well, at least that's what they're saying.
The internet's latest celebrity relationship fixation is Gavin Rossdale, 58, and Juana X, 40. Gavin was married to popular artist Gwen Stefani for over 10 years. That relationship ended due to Gavin allegedly cheating on her with the family's nanny. Now, years later, Gavin is going viral for a different relationship. His current girlfriend, as the internet has pointed out, looks quite similar to ex-wife Stefani. In pictures taken of the couple on vacation in Mexico, Gavin's girlfriend can be seen in red lipstick and a black bandana, and with those aesthetic choices come the comparisons to Stefani. Some users even pulled up pictures of Gwen from when she was married to Gavin, where she was wearing similar accessories. One social media user about the situation said, "For the record, Gavin Rossdale trying to recreate 2013 without abs and with a Gwen Stefani replica is not zen." Some users say the two women look nothing alike and that they are simply both blonde. The internet is quite divided, so let us know what you think in the comment section down below. Star of the hit TV show Frasier, Kelsey Grammer moved on from his marriage with Camille Grammer suspiciously quickly, especially since the couple was married for over 10 years. Kelsey and Camille married in 1997 and had 2 children together. Then suddenly, in 2010, Camille filed for divorce from Grammer, citing irreconcilable differences. The divorce was finalized in 2011, but just 2 weeks after that, Grammer was married again to then 29-year-old Kate Walsh. Grammer was 55 at the time and his ex-wife 40. Allegedly, he and Camille are still not getting along. Grammer and Walsh are still married though and have 3 children together. Sylvester Stallone has married a few times over his lifetime. The first marriage happened in 1974 and lasted until 1985. Stallone left his 35-year-old wife for a model and actress named Bridget Nielsen. She was 22 when they married in 1985. The couple stayed together about 2 years before divorcing in 1987. Shortly after that divorce was finalized, Stallone was in a relationship again, then later marrying Jennifer Flavin in 1997. She was 19 when they met, so about 28 or 29 when they married. The couple are still together and share glimpses of their family life on their children's and the actor's popular social media accounts. Marc Anthony is known for his incredible music and also for his marriage to J.Lo. The couple were married from 2004 to 2011 and they were really close in age. J.Lo was 41 at the time of separation and Anthony 42. Anthony's rebound from the relationship was almost half his age. 23-year-old Shannon De Lima is a Venezuelan model and she and Anthony were together from about 2012 to 2017. The couple married in 2014, divorced in 2017. Anthony has since remarried. He remarried in 2023, this time to 25-year-old model Nadia Ferreira. Actor Tony Curtis was famous in the 1950s and 60s, known for films like Some Like It Hot and Spartacus, but he was also well known for his romantic life. Some people use the word serial when it comes to his romantic life. There definitely is a pattern. His first wife, Janet Leigh, was 35 when they divorced. He left her for 18-year-old Christine Kaufman. Then he divorced Christine when she was 23 for Leslie Allen. It's unknown how old Leslie was at the time. Point is that they divorced. Then he divorced her in 1982. He began a romantic relationship with 21-year-old Andrea Savio, divorced her in 1992 when she was 29, remarried again, this time to Lisa Dutch. Again, her age at the time of marriage was unrecorded, but they divorced in 10 months. Then he married 27-year-old Jill Ann Vanderberg, who was 45 years younger than her husband. They did last, married in 1998 and were together until Curtis passed in 2010. J.Lo and Ben Affleck are married now, but their breakup in the early 2000s rocked the pop culture scene, especially considering Ben left Jen for another Jen. Affleck dated, then married, Jennifer Garner. All parties at this point are very close in age. It just sucks how it all went down. After about a decade of Affleck and Garner being married, reports started surfacing that Affleck was cheating on Garner with Saturday Night Live producer Lindy Shugis, who was about 7 or 8 years younger than either Jennifer. Eventually, Ben and Jennifer
Jennifer broke up but were still legally married. Despite both parties being legally married, Ben and Lindsay were seen stepping out with each other. The couple were together for just over a year before breaking up in 2018. Then allegedly they got back together in 2019 but split up again in that same year. Now Affleck is married to Jennifer Lopez, who he married in 2022. Bass guitarist for the Rolling Stones, Ronnie Wood, allegedly left his wife for a much younger woman and was not particularly nice about it, if her autobiography is anything to go off of. Wood met his future wife Jo in 1977, the pair marrying in 1985. They seemingly were happily married until 2009. Jo would go on tour with Ronnie and make sure he was staying in tip-top shape, but then came that day in 2009 when Ronnie met a cocktail waitress named Katerina Ivanova. The 18-year-old cocktail waitress appeared to charm the Rolling Stones musician, and it's not hard to see why when you look at a passage from Jo Wood's autobiography. According to the book, Jo, Ronnie, and Ekaterina were at the married couple's house together, and at this point, Ronnie and Ekaterina have indulged in consuming alcoholic beverages. They're not all there. After an incident with Ekaterina accidentally lighting her hair on fire, she stumbles to the couch. Jo writes at this point that Ronnie allegedly said to her, "Ain't she funny, Jo? She reminds me of you when you were young." That's brutal, calling it like it is. Not only did he leave her for a younger woman, he left her for a younger version of herself. The couple divorced and Ronnie and Ekaterina dated for about 3 years. They also had their fair share of hardships. Allegedly, Ronnie cheated during this relationship too. In 2012, Ronnie, now 76, married now 46-year-old Sally Humphries, and the pair are still together. The Brangelina Jennifer Aniston episode of the early 2000s was a drama-filled disaster that we still look back on today because it was so wild. Angelina Jolie is only like 6 years younger than Jennifer Aniston, which is almost nothing compared to the other couples on this list, but the media attention surrounding this love triangle was so great, I couldn't leave it off. So, Jen and Brad first meet in 1994. They get engaged in 1999, get married right at the start of the millennia, the year 2000. For the next few years, the couple are on red carpets together, appearing on each other's shows, gushing over each other in interviews. They were the it couple of their time. To everyone's shock and surprise, a separation was announced right at the beginning of 2005. I mean, some people might not have been surprised since there were plenty of rumors circulating about Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt having an affair while filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Aniston did do interviews where she said the situation was painful for her after the divorce was announced. Pitt went on to say that him and Aniston still share a deep friendship a few years after everything went down, but now, years later, almost 2 decades, the two actors seem to be on much better terms. During the pandemic, a short interaction between the former couple on Zoom went viral online. Pitt, of course, ended up dating Angelina for a long time, the couple marrying in 2014, but then again, the world was shocked with a Brad divorce in 2016 when they split up after being the golden couple of Hollywood for so many years. Pitt, now 60, has been romantically linked to 34-year-old Inez de Ramon. Rowan Atkinson, you might know him better as Mr. Bean. He had a pretty famous divorce proceeding in 2015. It was settled in 65 seconds, and he wasn't even there. But why did it happen so fast? Well, the judge ruled that him leaving his wife for an actress half her age was unreasonable behavior. I'm sure his ex-wife, Sanetra Sastry, was very happy with the proceedings. The pair married in 1990 after dating for a year and a half, so overall over 2 decades together. Technically, the 65 seconds wasn't the divorce being finalized, that would just be the next step. The actress that Mr. Bean moved on with was Louise Ford, who he is actually still dating. Louise had recently broken off a relationship when the news of her and Mr. Bean became public. Louise's ex, comedian James Acaster, shared in a 2019 comedy show that he didn't realize he had been left for Mr. Bean until a year later when there was a big story in the newspaper about Rowan and Louise's relationship. The comedian said, "I got left for Mr. Bean. I found out a year after we split up. I opened the newspaper and there was a full-page story. No one else in the history of time has ever been left for Mr. Bean." Rowan and Louise are still going strong and have started a family together. Marilyn Manson and Dita Von Teese married in 2005 and it looked amazing. I wouldn't really expect anything less considering who they are, but the wedding aesthetic really worked for them and it looked awesome. Unfortunately, their marriage did not last. They divorced in 2006. The short marriage confused many people, especially considering the couple seemed like a perfect match, aesthetically and as people. Turns out, infidelity may have had something to do with it. Without naming names, Teese did imply that Manson and his behavior led to the couple's split. In an interview with the Daily Telegraph, the burlesque star discussed discussed the reasons for the breakdown of the marriage, saying, "I wasn't supportive about his partying or his relationship with another girl, and as much as I loved him, I wasn't going to be part of that." Though she never said it, many speculated that the girl mentioned was actress Evan Rachel Wood, who was 19 at the time. There were many reasons why people thought it was her, but a major one was that Wood later starred in a Lolita-inspired music video for Manson's song Heart-Shaped Glasses. Wood and Manson dated from 2006 to 2010, but were never married.
So even though Cher and Sonny's marriage lasted less than a decade, their musical hits have stood the test of time. But here's the thing, Cher's got a new memoir, and she's talked about the success of her creative partnership with her late husband wasn't actually equally shared between the two. She said, "It wasn't passionate, I just loved him. He made me laugh and we had a dream." Now that dream led Sonny and Cher to multiple hit songs in the 1960s, including the infamous I Got You Babe, and later the popular Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, which featured the couple's banter, live performances, and a glamorous Cher. Now, Cher said, when they started to realize that people were tuning in because of what she was wearing, everybody just gave them all the money they needed. Now, apparently it was around this time that Bono began to change. She said he started just not to care about her. He was jealous, and things ramped up after a guitarist she identified as Bill kissed her and Bono found out. She wrote in her book that she told Sonny that she wanted to sleep with the guitarist. She said, "It all seems crazy now, I didn't mean it, but I thought saying those words was the only way that he would let me go." She said, "I thought if I do this, it's over. He's not going to be able to come back. We're not going to be able to be Sonny and Cher. I just want to blow it up." But I didn't know I wanted to blow it up until I was blowing it up. Cher said she was offered whatever she'd wanted to stay with Sonny and opted for her own place in Malibu and $5,000 a month. Well, 2 years later, she said she had a shocking discovery when her then boyfriend, music executive David Geffen, got a hold of her contract. Sonny owned 95% of the company and his lawyer owned the other 5%. And it was called Cher Enterprises, but Cher owned nothing. And by that point, Sonny and Cher had worked together for almost 12 years. So obviously she confronted Sonny and she was like, "What's going on?" And he said, "I always knew you'd leave me." And Cher was like, "Well, that's not a reason. How could you do it? I was there by your side working all those nights, all those days, through good, through bad." And Sonny just didn't have an answer. So the award for the celebrity who most horrendously misjudged how the public would react to his divorce last year goes to, drumroll please, Joe Jonas. Before he even filed the paperwork, he seemingly went straight to the tabloids, leaking through sources that he was planning to divorce his wife of 4 years, Sophie Turner, that he believed she had all but abandoned the couple's 2 daughters to film this TV show in the UK, and that she had said or done something unforgivable on the couple's Ring camera. Now, for the record, Joe technically denies leaking anything to the tabloids, and it's still not clear what exactly he saw on the Ring camera or why he was using it to spy on his wife in the first place. Well, after this tabloid mess went over poorly with fans, and I'm talking like a lead balloon, he took to crying on stage during tour stops around the US. On the flip side, Sophie filed her own lawsuit accusing Joe of holding her daughters hostage and refusing to send them back to England with her. The petition, by the way, that she filed was literally filed under the abduction clauses of the Hague Convention. So then she made a point of getting paparazzi snapped in New York with Joe's most famous ex-girlfriend, Taylor Swift. Now, thankfully, things have calmed down since then. Both parties agreed to a custody arrangement that allowed for the daughters to travel back and forth between the US and the UK, but for a hot minute, things were looking real messy. The Bear star Jeremy Allen White's split from his longtime partner Addison Timlin did not begin with a cheery joint statement assuring the public they were committed to co-parenting their 2 daughters. Instead, Addison filed her divorce in May and promptly posted about being a single mother on Instagram. Now, she later edited her caption to read co-parent, but we all got the message loud and clear. Now, since then, Jeremy Allen White made a big point of making out with a string of models directly in front of paparazzi. Just before the actor debuted a fling with Spanish pop star Rosalia, news outlets published details from court documents showing that he agreed to be tested for substances 5 times a week and attended AA meetings just so he could maintain shared custody of his daughters. So Gypsy Rose and Ryan Scott Anderson separated just 3 months after her release from prison. Gypsy confirmed that news in a statement saying, "People have been asking what's going on in my life. Unfortunately, my husband and I are going through a separation and I moved in with my parents. I have the support of my family and friends to help guide me through this. I am learning to listen to my heart. Right now I need time to let myself find who I am." Well, here's the thing. After this whole split was announced, Gypsy Rose and former partner Ken Urker sparked reconciliation rumors. Technically, those rumors were sparking before the breakup, because At one point, his mother, Marina Williams, confirmed that the two got lunch and went to a tattoo parlor together and got matching tattoos. And then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we're back together. And then they're expecting their first offspring together. So while serving time in prison for her role in the end of life of her mother, Dee Dee, Gypsy was in a relationship with Urker. He started off as a pen pal. And although he's largely stayed out of the spotlight, Gypsy's revealed a couple of details about him and their relationship over the years. In her Lifetime docuseries, The Prison Confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, she got very candid about the relationship, saying he was one of her first major heartbreaks, and now TBD, I guess. According to news outlets, Natalie Portman quietly filed for divorce from Benjamin Millepied last July, but their split was only finalized back in February of this year. And this was all confirmed, both parties, both reps, everybody who had something to say. According to a source, it was initially really tough for Natalie, but her friends rallied around her, helped her get through the worst of it. She was coming out of a really tough and painful year, but she's come out of the other side of it stronger, finding joy in her family, friends, and work. So the divorce came after news outlets broke the news that the choreographer had allegedly cheated on Natalie with a young climate activist named Camille. And by young, I mean like half his age. So when you consider the fact that technically the whole Natalie and Benjamin relationship started possibly under cheating circumstances on the Black Swan set. Look folks, once a cheater, always a cheater. According to unconfirmed reports, Benjamin was living with his former partner, ballet dancer Isabella Boylston, in 2009 and left her for Natalie Portman. In a 2018 interview, Natalie Portman said she was in dreamland while filming the physically demanding drama because she was getting to know Benjamin at the same time. She called the early stages of the relationship romantic because they were catching feelings for each other while he was teaching her how to dance. Okay, theater kids, we all know this. Showman turned romance turned uh-oh. Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott's turbulent relationship was filled with scandal from the get-go. So they were married to other people when they met on the set of their Lifetime movie, Mind Over Matter, in July of 2005, if I remember correctly. Now, Tori Spelling and actor Charlie Sheenan had tied the knot a year earlier, while Dean McDermott had been married for 12 years to actress Mary Jo Eustace. So the Beverly Hills 90210 star revealed in her 2009 memoir, Storytelling, that she and Dean felt an instant connection, and they spent the night together at a hotel after they first met. She said, "It was love at first sight. I fell so hard, then I noticed he had a wedding ring. And oh yeah, I had a husband too." So the two announced their engagement in December of 2005, tied the knot in Fiji in May of 2006, less than a month after their divorces from their ex-spouses were finalized. Then they sparked rumors of a split in 2010 after they were seen fighting in scenes from their show. Now, Tori Spelling later squashed the divorce speculation during an appearance on the Today Show, saying, "We're committed to each other, we're committed to this family. But you know, we work on things just like everybody else." Fast forward March of 2013, she once again slammed reports that the two were heading for a divorce. Well, McDermott was accused of cheating on her in December of that year. Emily Goodhand, then 28, told news outlets that the two had a brief affair while he was promoting his show Chopped Canada in Toronto. The following month, he did admit that he had cheated on his wife and entered rehab, saying, "I am truly sorry for the mistakes I have made and for the pain I've caused my family. I take full responsibility for my actions and have voluntarily checked myself into a treatment center to address some health and personal issues. I am grateful to be getting the help I need so I can become the husband and father my family deserves." So the couple's marital woes in the aftermath of this cheating scandal were documented in a reality TV series, True Tori. 2016, McDermott proposed to Spelling again while they were vacationing with her family in Europe. 2018, we got some trouble in paradise. The LA Police Department confirmed that officers had responded to a 911 call at the couple's home. It was a domestic incident, but no crime had been committed. No other details. Well, 2023, the two have separated. It was announced in an Instagram post saying, "It's with great sadness and a very, very heavy heart that after 18 years together that we have decided to go our separate ways and start a new journey of our own." So all of that was finalized earlier this year. Gypsy Rose Blanchard revealed her split from husband Ryan Scott Anderson to her Facebook friends on March 28th, saying in a statement, "Unfortunately, my husband and I are going through a separation, and I moved in with my parents' home down the bayou. I am learning to listen to my heart. Right now, I need time to let myself find who I am." Now, for context, during the panini, Ryan Anderson sent a letter to Gypsy after his co-worker did the same to Tiger King star Joe Exotic. Now, he didn't expect to hear back from Gypsy, but after receiving a reply in May of 2020, the pair started exchanging emails until the relationship bloomed and now is no more. But don't worry, Gypsy isn't recovering alone from this heartbreak. She was seen getting matching tattoos with her former fiance. Yep, different guy. Just days after it was announced that she was splitting up with Ryan. So Ken was engaged to Gypsy back in 2018 before they separated while she was still behind bars. And yeah, he was by her side at a tattoo parlor as they allegedly got matching images of huskies on their arms, according to TMZ. And as of the end of April, Gypsy is officially back back together with Ken, which, if you're following this timeline, it's just 1 month after she confirmed her split with Ryan. And she said, after reconnecting earlier this month, we realized that our love for each other is simply undeniable and life is too short to not take a chance. Well, I wish them luck. Next up, we've got Sacha Baron Cohen and Isla Fisher. Now, this pair, who share kids Olivia, Alula, and Montgomery, split after nearly 14 years of marriage, saying after a long tennis match lasting over 20 years, we are finally putting our rackets down. This was announced in a joint Instagram story statement on April 5th. In 2023, we jointly filed to end our marriage. We have always prioritized our privacy and have been quietly working through this change. They went on to note that they will forever share in our devotion and love for our children, adding, we sincerely appreciate you respecting our family's wish for privacy. Now, this split is hot on the heels of all of the recent Sasha controversy. Earlier this year, Rebel Wilson became the latest to speak out about Baron Cohen, saying the actor attempted to halt publication of her memoir, Rebel Rising, in which she calls him an a-hole after their time working together on the 2016 movie The Brothers Grimsby, and she claims that he was not so great on set. I guess nobody wants it this way. AJ McClain and Rochelle McClain confirmed on January 1st that they decided to end their marriage after a trial separation. They said in a statement, as you all know, we have been separated for over a year now. While we have hoped for reconciliation, we have decided to officially end our marriage. It is with deep love and respect that we have made this decision. And this was a joint statement on Instagram. They went on to say that our focus now is moving forward in the healthiest possible way, with friendship and co-parenting our girls at the forefront of this next chapter. We appreciate your kindness, respect, and privacy at this time. AJ and Rochelle were married for about 12 years and had 2 girls together, so this hurts to see. And their relationship actually goes back so much further than this. AJ met Rochelle in October of 2001, before the two reunited in 2006 and then began dating in 2009. On his birthday in 2010, he proposed and credits her with the motivation to get him sober and overcome his years-long struggle with addiction. So, just sad to see. Natalie Portman and Benjamin Millepied quietly finalized their divorce in February after 11 years of marriage. This was confirmed to People magazine by her rep. The Black Swan star secretly filed for dissolution over the summer in France, where she lives with her 2 children, son Aleph and daughter Amalia. The divorce came after Page Six broke the news that the choreographer had allegedly cheated on Portman with a young climate activist named Camille. And by young, I mean under like half his age. When you consider the fact that technically the whole Natalie and Benjamin relationship started possibly under cheating circumstances on the Black Swan set, well, once a cheater, always a cheater. According to The Guardian and other unconfirmed reports, Benjamin was living with his former partner, ballet dancer Isabella Boylston, in 2009, when he left her for Portman. In a 2018 interview with Hoda for SiriusXM, Natalie said she was in dreamland while filming the physically demanding drama because she was getting to know him at the time. She called the early stages of their relationship romantic because they were catching feelings for each other while he was teaching her how to dance. Yeah, showmance turned romance turned kaput. Chance the Rapper and Kirsten Corley have had quite the long-winded relationship. So they first met each other in 2003 when they were like 9, and after 9 years, okay. In 2012, they met again at the South by Southwest Film Festival in Austin, Texas. They reconnected when they went back home to Chicago, and shortly after, I think it was in 2013, they began dating. In September of 2015, they welcomed their first daughter, Kensley, and in February of 2016, they broke up briefly, but later reconciled. On July 4th of 2018, Chance proposed to Kirsten at a family barbecue in Chicago. Then on March 9th of 2019, they married at the resort at Pelican Hill in Newport Beach, California. Now, the pair announced their split via social media on April 3rd after 5 years of marriage. After a period of separation, the two of us have arrived at the decision to part ways. We came to this decision amicably and with gratitude for the same time we spent together. So, question, did anybody else see that video last year that started the divorce rumors? So, this was a video that went viral on socials, showing somebody dancing intimately with a woman at Jamaica's Carnival. Twitter users went wild, questioning like, hey, does Kirsten approve? And one fan went as far to say that this behavior was indicative of a divorce. Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott are yet another acting couple that went kaput this year. Spelling officially filed for divorce on March 29th, 9 months after separating from McDermott, and after 18-ish years together total. So back in April, on the debut episode of her podcast, Miss Spelling, Tori said, like, I just filed for divorce. Like, she opened with that. Whoa, I just said the words that I've said in my head for like 16 years. Wild. Ooh, that's kind of a grim statement. Granted, Tori and Dean's relationship was far from a smooth one. In the course of almost 2 decades together, the pair cheated on their former spouses with each other, tied the knot, welcomed 5 children, and weathered a storm of financial troubles and infidelity, all of which often put them back in the headlines. They also opted to shine a spotlight directly on their personal life as they starred in multiple seasons of several reality shows, including the Lifetime docuseries True Tori in the aftermath of Dean's cheating. Now, in June of last year, Dean actually posted a breakup announcement on his Instagram, only to delete it several hours later. Well, these two eventually separated for good that same month over his struggles with substances, and now game over, I guess. Light singer Ellie Goulding and art dealer Casper Jopling announced their separation after 4 years of marriage on February 23rd, saying, "We remain the closest of friends and have been successful co-parenting with our sons' best interests at heart." Now, this was in a statement that Ellie wrote on her Instagram story. She added, "We are committed to protecting our family's privacy and thank people in advance for respecting our wishes." Now, taking to his Instagram stories, Casper wrote, "Hi people, hope you're having a good day. I feel sadly that I need to say something on mine and Ellie's current relationship that I hope more than anything will make any final tabloid speculation disappear. Ellie and I made the decision to separate some time ago. Our immediate family and close friends have known for some time, otherwise we chose to do what we could to keep this private." He continued saying, "Ellie and I remain the closest of friends and most importantly, co-parents to the best kiddo in the world, Arthur. And please ask that you respect mine and Ellie's privacy. Thanks a lot, Casper." So the couple's relationship began in 2017 after meeting at a dinner with friends in New York, and at the time, the singer was at the end of a tour and wasn't sure whether to go to dinner. Well, good thing she did. They wed in August of 2019 after getting engaged in August of 2018 and welcomed their son Arthur in May of 2021. So last year it was reported that Ellie and Casper had been spending time apart due to their hectic schedules. The rumors first emerged in July, with Ellie being spotted without her wedding ring, and But hey, it looks like Ellie has already found a new fling though. In images obtained by The Sun, the singer was seen frolicking with hunky surfer Armando Perez. Now, the handsome surfer was seen leaning in to hug and kiss Ellie during a lesson. Ooh la la. Sam Raimi and Gillian Green are yet another longtime couple that called it quits this year. Green filed for divorce from the Spider-Man actor in May after 30 years of marriage, according to court documents obtained by People magazine. While Raimi and Green's marriage date is listed as September 17th of 1993, their date of separation was listed as TBD. Now, the filing shows that Green has requested that the court award her spousal support and terminate Raimi's ability to receive alimony. She's also requesting that he cover her attorney fees. Oh, there's no mention of a prenup, but interesting. Gary Turner and Teresa Nist. Yep, this one broke my heart. The Golden Bachelor couple announced their plans to divorce during an April 12th interview on Good Morning America, the same day Turner officially filed for divorce and just 3 months after tying the knot on TV. Teresa and I have had a number of heart-to-heart conversations, and we've looked closely at our situation, like our living situation and so forth, and we've kind of come to the conclusion mutually that it's probably time for us to dissolve our marriage. This was the statement made on the show. Look, I don't always pay attention to Bachelor romances, but this was one I was rooting for and just oh so invested in. Following their nuptials, the duo gave a handful of sweet glimpses of their love story to the public, including ringing in the holidays alongside each other and tuning into The Bachelor together. Oh well, maybe the Golden Bachelorette will do better. And finally for today, Katie McLean and John Lindstrom. If you don't know who they are, they were alumni of As the World Turns, and they announced on April 27th that they were divorcing after 10 years of marriage. Saying in a statement, "We are taking this opportunity to make a short statement about our relationship status. It may be obvious to some based on our posts that we've taken some time apart. After serious consideration, we have decided that our goals have been taking us in different directions and to end our marriage. We remain friends and wish each other every happiness. As people who work in the public eye, it can be difficult to have a private life. Regardless, we ask for your kind consideration in this matter."
Former Hollywood power couple Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt were married for only 2 years. Then they spent 4 times as long undoing their union. Miss Jolie and Mr. Pitt met each other on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a 2005 action movie in which they played married assassins. Now, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's highly publicized divorce in 2016 was a complex and tumultuous process. The Oscar winners, who were together for about actually 12 years before Jolie filed for divorce in 2016, reached a written settlement agreement just recently that actually finally ended one of the longest and most contentious splits in Hollywood history. There were so many red flags that emerged during their separation, starting off with allegations of substance abuse and anger issues. She accused him of having a substance abuse problem, which allegedly created a toxic environment for their children. She filed a cross complaint against her ex-husband Brad Pitt on disclosing new details about what she described in court papers as abusive behavior by him on a private plane in 2016 that led to the dissolution of their marriage. Her filing goes on to describe as extended physical and verbal outbursts in September 2016 as Mr. Pitt, Miss Jolie, and their 6 children flew from France to California. It's alleged that he grabbed Jolie by the head and shook her, and then grabbed her shoulders and shook her again before pushing her into the bathroom wall. And at one point, allegedly, he even poured his beer on her. A lot of other terrible things happened that I won't get into, but it was hostile, aggressive, and I would say traumatizing for everyone on board that plane. Jolie did actually decline to press charges on him, with a close family friend making a statement that actually said she could have pressed charges against him. She could have told the world what happened. She didn't. All she wanted was for Brad to get the help he needed and for their children to get the support they needed to heal. Immediately following this incident, Brad did actually check himself into a sobriety program, which many looked at as a way for him to just kind of save face. It was also reported that Brad wanted Angie to sign an NDA, to which she refused because according to her, that would just cover up his DV. Jolie's divorce attorney, James Simon, said in a statement that since filing for divorce 8 years ago, Jolie has focused on finding peace and healing for their family. He added, frankly, Angelina is exhausted, but she is relieved this one part is over. A source close to Pitt said Jolie's one-sided attacks over the course of their divorce proceedings have included a never-ending distortion of facts, causing tremendous collateral damage to those in and around the family. It is also actually alleged that Brad Pitt has virtually no contact with their adult children. However, per an agreement with Jolie, he has visitation with the younger kids, and it's recently been exposed that several of the children have taken measures to actually remove Pitt from their last names. Jolie and Pitt disagreed on financial matters, including child support and division of assets. Jolie accused Pitt of hiding assets and not providing adequate financial support. Now, in February of 2022, Brad Pitt filed a lawsuit against Angelina claiming that she sold her shares of Miraval, which is a French company including a chateau and vineyard that the former couple purchased together in the south of France. The two first gained a controlling interest in Miraval in 2008. They began selling their own rosé in March 2013 and actually got married at the chateau in August of 2014. Pitt alleges that when Jolie filed for divorce in 2016, they actually both agreed not to sell their Miraval shares without each other's permission. However, fast forward to 2021, Angelina sold her portion of the business to Tenute Del Mondo, the wine division of the Stoli Group owned by Russian businessman Yuri Scheffler. Now, in his filing, Pitt argues that his ex-wife made the business decision without his knowledge or consent. The lawsuit claims that she sold her interests with the knowledge and intention that Scheffler and his affiliates would seek to control the business to which Pitt had devoted himself and to undermine Pitt's investment in Miraval. Now, Pitt allegedly tried to purchase Jolie's stake in the company before she sold it. A source explained that Angelina made the negotiations difficult and was not being fair, and according to the insider, Pitt was blindsided when he learned that Jolie had sold her shares in October 2021. He assumed they'd work it out because she knew how important the winery was to him. Now, in June 2022, Pitt's lawyers claimed that Jolie made the decision to sell her shares knowing it would negatively impact Pitt's business standing. In the filing, it was alleged that through the sale, Jolie actively sought to inflict harm on Pitt. She knew and intended Scheffler and his affiliates would try to control the business Pitt had built and to undermine Pitt's investment in Miraval. It continued to claim that Scheffler has gained notoriety through cutthroat business tax and dubious professional associations, and that the association jeopardizes the reputation of the brand Pitt so carefully built. An insider said that Brad always dreamed of leaving Miraval to the children as part of, the family legacy. I hate to be the one to say it, but Brad, those kids do not rate you. If we're being honest, I don't think they'd want it anyway. They don't even want your last name, so Fast forwarding to November 2024, Brad secured an important win in this ongoing legal battle. In the new court documents, Judge Leah Martin of Los Angeles County Superior Court dismissed 3 motions recently filed by Jolie's legal team, stating that Jolie violated a verbal and written agreement to not sell their stakes in Miraval without both parties' permission. So a win is a win, I suppose. Now, there's so many red flags that should have been bad signs to begin with. It seems like they both just didn't care or take it into consideration, but let's talk about the fact that when they both went on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith in 2005, they both were in a relationship, and not just a relationship, but legally married. Brad was married to Friends star Jennifer Aniston, and Angelina was married, but at the end of her rope with actor Billy Bob Thornton. Now, before I get into this, I do want to point out that Angelina has a knack for falling in love with married men, because she also started seeing Billy Bob while he was married to someone else, and that's a whole other story that we won't get into right now. But now that the settlement concludes, attention has resurfaced on a 2004 encounter between Jennifer Aniston and Angelina. Aniston allegedly warned Jolie about her then-husband Brad Pitt. According to reports, Aniston recalled the encounter took place on the Warner Brothers lot in Burbank as Pitt was preparing to film Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Jolie. Aniston shared in an interview that she said, "I pulled over and introduced myself. I said, Brad is so excited about working with you. I hope you guys have a really good time." Unbeknownst to her, the on-screen chemistry between Pitt and Jolie during the film's production would lead to the end of their marriage. While both Pitt and Jolie denied having an affair during filming, their undeniable connection marked the beginning of a new chapter in Pitt's life, and by January 2005, Aniston and Pitt announced their separation. No one ever talks about this red flag, and I think it's worth discussing because up until recently, I honestly had no clue either. So let's talk about Brad Pitt and Juliette Lewis. Yes, they were in a relationship, which at first thought isn't anything crazy, but it is when you hear their age gap. So when the two actors started dating, Lewis was in her late teens and Pitt was in his late 20s. Both of their careers were about to take off in a big way. They were together for about 4 years, and after they split up, Pitt told Vanity Fair it was one of the greatest relationships he's ever been in. Lewis had achieved a lot before she met Pitt, the daughter of character actor Jeffrey Lewis. She hung out on film sets as a child, so she was used to the whole scene. Her parents actually split when she was very young, and she spent time living with both of them. But when she was still a young woman, she became legally emancipated from them so that she could work longer hours. She quit school young and took on roles in TV shows like The Wonder Years and movies including National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, where she played Audrey Griswold. She actually once said as a teenager, "I was severely, cripplingly dramatic and in search of self," and that she would deliberately put herself in situations that were just not healthy. While still a young woman, she played in a movie alongside Brad Pitt, which is actually how they met. Now, Lewis told the Los Angeles Times in 1993, "We met on a movie and started dating when it was over. I already liked him as an actor, plus you gotta respect somebody who's in the same field as you." Pitt, nearly 10 years older than Lewis, had already been romantically linked to a number of other young actresses, but his relationship with Lewis got serious pretty quickly. The two of them moved in together. Pitt told the Rolling Stone in 1994, "We were trying to be Sid and Nancy or something. We were idiots. We were just having a great time." As their careers took off, Lewis got nominated for an Oscar for Cape Fear, and Pitt became immensely popular from his role in Thelma and Louise. They became the it couple of Hollywood in the early 90s, and they were photographed basically constantly on every red carpet you can think of. They were thrilled when they were cast opposite each other in a 1993 thriller movie called California. Their relationship didn't last long beyond the making of that movie. They actually split in 93, with Lewis' publicist saying they planned on remaining friends. Now, despite their plan to remain friends, Lewis and Pitt drifted apart, and at the time, no one really batted an eye and didn't consider the age difference to be anything special or dramatic, but many people today have now revisited their history and are cringing at the fact that Lewis was not yet an adult when they dated, and Brad was, well, almost 30 years old. So their 10-year age gap wouldn't really be an issue now, but at the time, like, huge red flag. And let it be known, this isn't the first time he dated someone much younger than him. He was 24 when he dated Shailene McCall, who was 11 years younger than him, and now, well, he's 61 years old and his girlfriend is like 31. So yeah, these consistent age gaps over the years would have been enough red flags for me, but because of his good good looks, charisma, and star status, you know, most, if not all of Hollywood turned a blind eye.
Number 10. Chris Pratt and Anna Faris. When Chris Pratt and Anna Faris decided to announce their split after 8 years of being married, they shocked the world as this fairy tale romance came to an abrupt end. With the couple finalizing their divorce in October of 2018, Chris hinted in social media posts that the two haven't been happy for quite some time. As he said, "Anna and I are sad to announce we are legally separating. We tried hard for a long time and we were really disappointed. Our son has 2 parents who love him very much, and for his sake, we want to keep this situation as private as possible moving forward. We still have love for each other and will always cherish our time together and continue to have the deepest respect for one another." Ending things on a mutual note, both Chris and Anna have been able to remain on good terms and they continue to be great co-parents together. And friends, before we move on to this next spot on the list, let us know which divorce in the celebrity world completely shook your brain and you still are not over it down in the comments. Number 9. Jenna Dewan and Channing Tatum. Not so friendly exes Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan went from being Hollywood's it couple to divorced parents, and they haven't made it easy for others to determine whether or not they're on good terms with one another. The two actors began dating back in 2006 when they met on their movie set Step Up. By July of 2009, they tied the knot and began to grow their family, welcoming their first daughter in May of 2013. While the pair became a beloved celebrity couple by many, Jenna admitted in February of 2018 that the pair have struggled with their relationship like anyone else. She admitted they were not perfect and they had their fair share of disagreements. By April of 2018, the couple announced their split in a joint statement saying, "We have lovingly chosen to separate as a couple. We fell deeply in love so many years ago and have had a magical journey together." The couple then went on to say they were moving on different paths and ultimately decided it was best to be friends for the time being. Since the divorce, the exes have been co-parenting great together and there seems to be no drama between them, at least for now. Number 8. Liam Hemsworth and Miley Cyrus. Cyrus and Hemsworth both started seeing each other in 2008 when the pair met on the set of The Last Song. The pair then dated off and on before tying the knot in December of 2018, just after the wildfire destroyed their home in Malibu. In court documents obtained by E! News, Miley cited irreconcilable differences behind the reason for the actors' split. However, a month before their divorce was finalized, Miley opened up about why their relationship didn't last. According to Cyrus, the two only got married due to the trauma of losing their Malibu home in a fire. She went on to note that the two had been together since they were 16, and when their home burnt down, they felt like they had to get engaged. She added, "I just clung to what I had left of the house, which was me and him." Before ending the interview, Miley also noted that Liam and her had too much conflict, which led to the pair's split. Number 7. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Just as Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie began with a bang on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, their marriage abruptly dissolved in the same manner. The longtime couple got engaged in 2012 and then got married in 2014 at their French chateau. However, after 11 years of being together, the couple decided to split for the health of their family. Pitt then released his own statement saying he was very saddened by the matter and the only thing that mattered now was the well-being of the couple's children. On September 19th of 2016, Jolie filed divorce papers citing irreconcilable differences and requesting sole physical custody of their 6 children. As soon as the news broke, it didn't take long for gifs and memes to flood the internet. Stars were also quick to chime in. Chrissy Teigen tweeted, "Brad and Angelina, how am I supposed to go to work today?" Adele even dedicated her NYC concert to the former couple by saying, "I need to address the elephant in the room, but it's the end of an era." Since announcing the divorce, Angelina has made some pretty serious claims against Brad Pitt, and Brad has stayed pretty quiet on the matter. As the couple first stated to keep things between their divorce private, this turned out to not be the case, as the divorce has since been smeared across the tabloids since 2016, as the two have since yet to finalize matters officially. Number 6. Megan Fox and Brian Austin Green. On November 25th, 2020, Megan Fox filed for divorce from Brian Austin Green. At the time, she claimed the two have been separated since November of 2019. After being married for 10 years, the actress ultimately decided to file for divorce, as it was a decision that was a long time coming, especially now that she was in a relationship with MGK. Kelly and Fox met on the film Midnight in the Switchgrass in 2019. In court papers, Megan asked for joint legal and physical custody of her and Green's sons. She also asked to terminate the ability for either her or Green to seek spousal support. However, even though Green agreed to the custody request, he still wanted spousal support to be a possibility. With Fox moving on and looking forward to her future with MGK, Brian has had a lot to say about the matter, even claiming that Megan has been an absent mother in her kids' lives. divorce. Hopefully these two can put their differences aside for their children's sake. Number 5. Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. Back in 2012, former power couple Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes announced to the world they were getting divorced after 6 years of marriage. Now, this split was shocking to everyone throughout the world of show business, and it sparked many rumors and speculations as to why the couple split. One of the biggest rumors of the pair's divorce was that Katie wanted to remove herself and their daughter Suri from any involvement with the Church of Scientology. Cruise then later confirms that the reason his ex-wife filed for divorce came down to the controversial religion itself. With Cruise and Holmes divorced, Holmes was awarded sole custody of Suri, and reportedly that included an ironclad ruling that Suri would not be exposed to anything Scientology related. Number 4. Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Married for only 15 months, the world was shocked when Amber Heard filed for divorce from Johnny Depp in May of 2016. But what shocked the world even more was the claims that led to the divorce. Depp's and Heard's marriage has been swept across the tabloids since 2016, and one of the most recent trials to highlight the whole relationship would be Johnny Depp's defamation trial. While both stars played a huge part in why their relationship didn't work out, following events later to come to light would leave the world shaken with disbelief. Just after Heard filed for divorce, she placed a temporary restraining order on Depp, claiming that the two had gotten into an altercation. When the order expired, the couple was finally able to reach an agreement in August of 2016. Heard announced she would donate her $7 million divorce settlement to charities. Their divorce was then finalized in January of 2017. The two have since been in heated court cases that don't seem to be ending anytime soon. Number 3. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. After being married for nearly 7 years, Kim Kardashian officially filed divorce from her husband on February 19, 2021. On June 3, 2021, in an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kim opened up about the split from rapper Kanye West. After confronting the situation with her family, her sister Khloe then went on to note that Kim had been struggling privately behind the camera with her relationship. In now seen footage, you could see Kim crying as she says she can't do this anymore and that she has felt like she's been stuck in the relationship for years and can't understand why. The star then goes on to note that Kanye deserves someone that can go support his every move and go follow him all over the place and move to Wyoming. I can't do that and I feel like a failure in my 3rd marriage. It was sad to see Kim felt her relationship was moving in different directions and that she couldn't really do anything. Since the pair's split, Kanye and her have hit headlines as they continue to disagree over certain aspects revolving around their lives. Number 2. Kris and Caitlyn Jenner. After being married for more than 2 decades, the momager Kris Jenner and 1976 Olympic gold medalist Caitlyn Jenner announced in late 2013 that they have been living apart for a year and they were officially filing for a divorce. At the time, many fans were quick to note that it looked like the pair split ultimately due to the fact that Caitlyn began opening up about her identity and transitioned to Caitlyn Jenner. However, Caitlyn squashed the rumors when she came to say, after 23 years, Kris and I went our separate directions. My identity, it was not a big part of us separating. There were so many other bigger issues out there. She claimed that her transition caused her to be more short-wired with Kris, and that it was that reason that caused their marriage to fail. Since the two's divorce, Kris has been really supportive to Caitlyn, and the pair support each other unconditionally. Number 1. Russell Brand and Katy Perry. Love at First Sight back in September of 2009, it said that Russell Brand and Katy Perry hit it off while rehearsing for the MTV Video Music Awards. They soon started dating, and Russell popped the question on New Year's Eve during a trip to India. In October of 2010, the couple had a traditional Hindu wedding, also in India. Then the couple came to the quick realization they had different priorities in life. Documented in Katy Perry's documentary, Part of Me, the star was on her California Dreams tour, which caused the two to clash. While on tour, Katy received a text message where Russell told the pop star that he was filing for divorce. As Katy's world began to crumble beneath her feet, she was able to hold it together for her fans and complete the tour. Since the divorce, both have moved on, with Brand marrying Laura Gallagher and Perry marrying Orlando Bloom.
In at number 10, Tish and Billy Ray Cyrus. Tish and Billy Ray are getting divorced for the 3rd time, just 5 years after they called off their 2nd divorce. Tish is the person who filed for divorce on April 6th after 29 years of marriage. The couple share 5 kids together, including the legendary Miley Cyrus. In 2010, Billy Ray was first to file for divorce, but called it off after a few months. Tish then filed for her first time in 2013, but the couple reconciled just 10 days after that. So there is a chance this 3rd time might also be called off, or there's a chance the couple has unanimously decided that they should no longer be together. In documents obtained by People, Tish cited irreconcilable differences in the legal documents and revealed that her and Billy Ray have not lived together for more than 2 years. The couple released a joint statement saying in part, quote, "It is after 30 years, 5 amazing children, and a lifetime of memories, we have decided to go our separate ways. Not with sadness, but with love in our hearts. We've grown up together, raised a family we can be so proud of, and it's now time to create our own paths." In at number 9, Tom Schwartz and Katie Maloney. As a huge fan of Vanderpump Rules, this news is incredibly heartbreaking, but not all that shocking after last season. After 12 years of being together, the couple have announced that they will be divorcing. After reading the statements, it's clear that this was Katie's decision, and Tom is having a hard time coping with his new normal. In her Instagram statement, Katie wrote, quote, "After 12 years on an adventure through life together, Tom and I are ending our marriage. This ending is not met with resentment or animosity, no sides to choose. We have deep admiration for one another that will always remain, and we cherish our friendship." Tom wrote in his caption that he, quote, "fully respects Katie's decision and that it would be far sadder if she decided to stay with me while not happy." After revealing more about the reasoning, Katie has admitted that she didn't feel supported by Tom and felt that he never truly had her back. And after watching last season, it's clear to me that Schwartz has some growing up to do and needs to prioritize his wife over friends like Tom Sandoval. If you've watched Vanderpump Rules and you saw last season where they're fighting about the bar, please let me know your thoughts below. It is one of my favorite reality shows, mostly because I've just grown up watching it, and I'm so invested in their relationships, and it's so sad to see that these two are splitting up. In at number 8, Shailene Woodley and Aaron Rodgers. Shailene Woodley and Aaron Rodgers had an incredibly fast-paced relationship. Before the public even knew they were a couple, Shailene and Aaron were engaged. It seemed to everyone that the pair were soulmates and were going to be together forever, until it was announced that Shailene broke off their engagement. The former couple first met in 2020 and soon sparked romance rumors. Rodgers confirmed the relationship during his acceptance speech for the NFL Honors Award, thanking his fiancée. Woodley confirmed the relationship as well in an episode of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, showing off her engagement ring. The pair briefly got back together after ending their engagement to try and work things out, but sources say that Shailene is now 100% done. A source said, quote, "Shailene tried to give it another shot and was spending time with Aaron, but she quickly saw that everything was on his terms and nothing was going to change. There was no reason to continue and she's done with it." In at number 7, Garrett Hedlund and Emma Roberts. After an incredibly messy on and off again relationship with Evan Peters, Emma Roberts quickly moved on to Garrett Hedlund. Then, out of nowhere, the couple announced they were expecting a child together. The pair seemed very happy and excited for their child, but shortly after the birth of Rhodes in 2020, the couple has split. An insider said of their split, quote, "It's sad and they are trying their best to co-parent. It's been hard." The couple started dating in 2019, welcoming Rhodes in December of 2020. At the time of the birth, Emma posted to Instagram writing, quote, "Thank you 2020 for getting one thing right. Our bright light Rhodes Robert Hedlund." In at number 6, Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet. This power couple was one that seemed like they would stay together forever because of how highly Momoa spoke of Bonet in the press. But sadly, on January 12th, the couple announced in a joint statement that they would be ending their marriage, saying, quote, "We have all felt the squeeze and changes of these transformational times. A revolution is unfolding and our family is of no exception. A revolution is unfolding and our family is of no exception. Feeling and growing from the seismic shifts occurring. And so we share our family news that we are parting ways in marriage." After the split, Momoa was seen living in a van that was camped out on his friend's property. There were also rumors that the pair might be getting back together, but those were false. While talking about these rumors, Momoa said, quote, "Oh no, we're not back together. We're family, you know. We have 2 beautiful children together. We're family forever." Halfway number 5, Hoda Kotb and Joel Schiffman. After 8 years of being together, Hoda and Joel announced that they will be ending their engagement. Hoda made the announcement on January 31st on Today with Hoda and Jenna after some viewers wondered why she was no longer wearing an engagement ring. She revealed that over the holidays her and Joel had a lot of meaningful conversations where they realized they were better off as friends than an engaged couple. So they decided to start off the new year with a different type of relationship where they are no longer romantically involved. In at number 4, Josh Flagg and Bobby Boyd. $1 Million Listing Los Angeles star Josh Flagg announced in 2022 that he was splitting from his husband, Bobby Boyd. The pair had been married for 5 years. Flagg announced the news in an Instagram post, writing, quote, "Bobby and I are divorcing. This might sound abrupt, but I felt I should be transparent from the top rather than bury the headline. This was not a rash or impulsive decision. We have been very thoughtful before coming to this conclusion." He continued that the pair did not fall out of love, rather they felt that they were growing in different directions and could no longer be there for each other in the ways that they needed. And at number 3, Ashley and Michael Darby. The Real Housewives of Potomac star Ashley Darby has announced her divorce from her husband, Michael. Darby announced the news on Instagram, where she wrote in part that, quote, "Almost 8 years ago when Michael and I said I do, we anticipated sharing every single day together from that moment forward. Unfortunately, that's not our current reality. We have decided to separate." She explained that there was no reason for the decision, but it was a mix of many things, and that people will speculate the decision was made for various reasons, adding, quote, "People will be quick to assume that the causes were too much intrusion by reality TV into the most personal parts of our lives, age gap issues, cultural problems, or child rearing differences. Pieces of all these may have affected our pure love for each other, but no one reason is the root cause of our mutual decision." A source close to the couple said they had been having serious issues for the last year, and there's been a huge disconnect between them as a couple. And at number 2, Pamela Anderson and Dan Hayhurst. Pam and Dan have sadly been only married for a year, but have already decided to end their marriage. A source described the relationship as a whirlwind romance that simply ran its course. After their wedding, the pair were not getting along and decided to take a break from each other. Another source claimed that Pam rushed into this marriage because she saw the relationship as a fresh start, but the spark was starting to fade and she was having regrets. Apparently Dan was trying to make it work between them, but Pam knew it was time to end things. Any news source said, quote, "There was no straw that broke the camel's back, but rather Dan is not the man she hoped he was." This was Pamela's 6th marriage. She's been married 5 times in the past, twice to the same man. And finally, number 1, Ali Wong and Justin Hakuda. Comedian Ali Wong recently announced that her and her husband of 8 years, Justin Hakuda, are divorcing. A source told People, quote, "It's amicable and they will continue to co-parent lovingly." The divorce news is not a shock to some fans who felt she was hinting at being unhappy in her marriage in multiple Netflix specials. The former couple met at a wedding reception in 2010 when he was a Harvard business student. They got married in 2014 and had their first daughter a year later, followed by another girl in 2017. During her 2016 Netflix stand-up special Baby Cobra, Wong joked how she trapped her husband to be with her after learning he was going to Harvard Business School. A sour spot for the couple was most likely how often Wong ripped on her marriage during her comedy. Once when speaking about her marriage, she said, quote, "Like an idiot, I asked this dude to ask me to go to prison, and I'm in monogamy jail and I don't know how to get out." She even joked in the same special that she thinks of cheating every 5 minutes, but no good opportunities have taken place.
Starting us off at number 10, Stacey Dash and Jeffrey Marty. Clueless star Stacey Dash and her husband Jeffrey Marty have decided to call it quits after 2 years of marriage. Stacey and Jeffrey got married back in April 2018, just 10 days after meeting each other, and have shared their ups and downs over the last 2 years. Man, 10 days and you're married? You know you're head over heels for this person when you marry them just after over a week. Stacey took to her Instagram to share the news of her split with her fans back in April of this year. Following the announcement of their divorce, fans were quick to point out that this comes just shortly after Dash was arrested for alleged domestic violence, to which she pleaded not guilty. There's been no word from Jeffrey on the divorce proceedings, but Stacey has wished him well, citing that she feels that this is for the best. Coming in at number 9, Tracy Morgan and Megan Wallover. Tracy Morgan and wife Megan Wallover are splitting up 5 years after getting married. Morgan issued a statement in July saying that this is a challenging time for the couple and asking for their privacy at the moment. Their love story sounds like something out of a movie. Tracy saying that he knew from the moment he saw her that they would get married, and even his struggle with rehabilitating after his major crash in 2015 to be able to walk his wife down the aisle. Their split came as a surprise to many, and a cause has not been issued. The couple have a child together who's 7 and are looking forward to co-parenting. At number 8, Nicole Young and Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre and longtime partner Nicole Young are getting a divorce after nearly 25 years of marriage. The California rap icon and his wife filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. It's hard to think of what kind of irreconcilable differences would end a 24-year marriage. I'm thinking it's quarantine taking its toll on them like it has for so many other couples, but it must have been a huge issue to call it quits like that. They seem to have such a strong relationship. Their divorce has caused quite the stir lately in regards to their prenup. Nicole claims that Dre ripped up their prenuptial agreement after feeling badly about pressuring her into signing it. So technically there's no prenup since it was destroyed. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't make assumptions as to how things work in that kind of situation, but Nicola is using that as her argument to claim half of Dre's $800 million empire. The couple also have 2 kids, but they're adults, so there's no need for child support payments to be made. Basically, this is gonna be a pretty messy breakup since there's so much money at stake. In the meantime, we just have to watch it all unfold. In at number 7, Mary-Kate Olsen and Oliver Sarkozy. Mary-Kate Olsen has filed for divorce from her husband of 5 years, Oliver Sarkozy. Olsen seemed to really want out of the relationship as she tried to file her divorce papers multiple times. The first attempt was back in April, but as a result of the pandemic, the courts wouldn't accept any paperwork unless it was an emergency divorce. Olsen then tried a second time to submit an emergency divorce filing, but was halted in May after the judge ruled that it was not an emergency matter. Olsen was finally successful in her third attempt filing just a week or so after her second attempt. As this was unfolding, Olsen's husband Oliver had allegedly terminated their lease, and Olsen was ordered to move from her home amidst the New York stay-at-home orders. The last few months seem to have been really chaotic for Mary-Kate, and her determination to end her marriage as soon as possible has some people worried about her well-being. We can't assume anything is wrong, but it still seems a little suspicious. Only time will tell if something comes of this frantic divorce proceeding. Coming into number 6, Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock. Kelly and husband Brandon Blackstock have decided to split after nearly 7 years of marriage. The duo worked together on Kelly's talk show, The Kelly Clarkson Show, and they even have 2 kids together. Things on the outside seemed well, and they worked together, so that seemed to show that their marriage was strong. But now sources have revealed that they had a number of problems. On their divorce papers, they list the reason for divorce as to be determined or as irreconcilable differences, but we are being led to believe that it was the effects of quarantine that really pushed them over the edge. The two are seeking joint custody of their kids, but other than that, they don't really seem to agree on much else when it comes to their divorce proceedings. Clarkson has opted to refuse any spousal support, while her husband just checked other and doesn't have much to say about the monetary side of their divorce. Judging by how they've been reported to rarely agree on things, this divorce could become quite messy quite quickly. As those who are close with the couple say that on the outside they seem to have a perfect marriage, but that they definitely did not. It's a wonder as to how they even managed to work together on the show if things were that bad. Either way, I wish them luck as they continue through this. Halfway through at number 5, Jay Cutler and Kristen Cavallari. Jay Cutler and Kristen Cavallari have decided to end their 10-year marriage, citing irreconcilable differences. There's a lot of these. Following their divorce announcement in April of this year, fans started digging into what could have happened, and you know how they love to dig. Bringing it all the way back to 2011, fans began to look into what could have ended Jay and Kristen's marriage, starting with when Kristen briefly called off their engagement. She was cited saying that she didn't want to be the stay-at-home mom type, and that something had to change in order for her to go through with the wedding. Obviously, they worked things out and the couple were wed. Then, just recently on social media, there were allegations that Jay was having an affair with Kristen's best friend, though Kristen never bought into these rumors. All seemed well enough until the dreaded 2020 came along and brought quarantine along with it. Around April of this year, the two decided to call it quits. An insider claimed that they have simply grown apart and fallen out of love with each other, but some fans are beginning to think that there's more here to unravel. In her divorce filing, Kristen accused her husband of inappropriate marital conduct, and that such conduct is rendering their cohabitation unsafe and improper. As to what this inappropriate marital conduct is, we don't know, but one thing's for sure, their quarantine experience seemed to really put the pressure on their marital problems, and they just couldn't handle it. Coming in at number 4, Megan Fox and Brian Austin Green. After 10 years together, Megan Fox and Brian Austin Green have called it quits. Green spoke out about their split, saying that they started to split up in late 2019 after growing apart, and they really didn't want to make anything public too early. Green also cited that after Megan returned home from filming abroad, they gave it a few weeks before having a serious conversation about their marriage, ultimately deciding to end things. Things seem to have ended on good terms as they both came to the mutual realization that things just weren't working out, which is okay. Not all separations have to end badly, and this is exactly the outcome that both Megan and Brian were looking for. Recently, Megan has been seen out and about with rapper Machine Gun Kelly. Green spoke out about Megan's new relationship on his podcast, saying that he doesn't want Megan's new partner to be vilified by the media. He's done nothing wrong, and there's no reason that he should be receiving any grief for it. Now, although fans were shocked to hear about the divorce, it's not all bad. They seem to still be on good terms and co-parenting their kids, so really, all is well. It's nice to see a celebrity divorce that doesn't turn into a full-blown meltdown. In at 3, Casey Musgraves and Rustin Kelly. After tying the knot back in October 2017, Casey Musgraves and Rustin Kelly have filed for divorce. As yet another quarantine divorce who've cited irreconcilable differences for their split, Casey and Rustin seem to be on pretty decent terms. The couple has been cited to still have love and respect for one another following their files for divorce in July. The couple seems to be on such good terms following the breakup that they've indicated to the courts that they would be dividing their assets themselves without the guidance of the court system. This seems to look good for Casey and Rustin since not many divorces end in such a civil manner to allow the two parties to take care of their assets themselves. Following their divorce announcement, Casey and Rustin have shut down any scrutiny of the two, saying that their love for each other goes far beyond the relationship and that their soul connection is something that can never be erased. They continue to say that though they are parting ways in marriage, that they will remain true friends for the rest of their lives. They hold no anger or contempt against each other and seem to be navigating their divorce smoothly. Yet another good example that all divorces aren't ugly. Coming close to the end of number 2, Julianne Hough and Brooks Leach. After 3 years of marriage, Julianne Hough and Brooks Leach called it quits when they announced their separation back in May. Yet another quarantine breakup to add to the books. In a joint statement, the couple tells fans that they've decided together that they would separate despite sharing an abundance of love and respect for one another. Now, the couple hasn't officially divorced yet, but they say that they're taking their time and are in no rush to get the paperwork done with. Someone close to the couple stated that Julianne is taking her time with the decision as being in lockdown brought up a lot of feelings for her. Brooks, on the other hand, is ready to move on. They're planning to file together, but Brooks is understanding of her situation and is giving her the time she needs to make her decision. I admire their unity in this situation. Being in the midst of a public breakup doesn't seem to be an easy thing, so the fact that they're being patient with one another and not speaking ill of each other speaks volumes on their maturity in this. And finally at number 1, Vanessa Morgan and Michael Kopech. Following a pregnancy announcement and just 6 months of marriage, Vanessa Morgan and Michael Kopech have filed for divorce. After nearly a year of dating, Vanessa and Michael tied the knot in January of this year. Then in June, Vanessa announced her pregnancy on Instagram, saying that she was overjoyed to be welcoming her baby boy in the coming winter. The internet was overjoyed to hear of the pregnancy, but the celebration soon turned sour, as just days after the announcement, it was revealed that Vanessa and husband Michael had filed for divorce. Michael and Vanessa have yet to comment on the divorce, but that hasn't stopped fans from speculating. Many fans have expressed their concern that someone was involved in an affair, many of those fans believing that it was Michael. Fans were quick to point out that in the photos Vanessa posted on her Instagram of her gender reveal party, Michael wasn't seen in any of them. Others pointed out the language used in the pregnancy announcement, citing that Vanessa referred to the baby as my and not ours, leading people to believe that Michael is no longer in the picture. Either way, it's sad to see a marriage fall apart, especially when a new baby's on the way. We have yet to hear any more on the story, but I'm sure it'll only be a matter of time until fans get some more answers.
Number 10, Megan Fox and Brian Austin Green. Megan and Brian were together for over 10 years, sharing 3 little ones during that time. The couple first met in 2004 while filming the ABC sitcom Hope and Faith. After a couple of years of dating, they got married, but just because they put a ring on it did not mean that they were exclusive. They actually got engaged and split up a couple of times before officially tying the knot. Already a red flag right there. After becoming official though, many paparazzi spotted Megan and Brian out and about with other people. Now at first we just assumed that they were close friends or something, but cheating rumors started to run rampant. As the years went by and their family grew, Megan's views on marriage started shifting. She would say that being married was a day-to-day task and it was becoming very difficult at times. Between 2015 and 2020, they were almost divorced twice, and the main reason being was the spark was just dying out and they were starting to see other people. There's a good chance that this was happening while they were still married. When the official and final divorce was filed, Megan quickly found comfort in the arms of another man, that man eventually being MGK, the man that she is still with today, and it seems like it's exclusive for now. While they never called their marriage open, they did start seeing other people while the rings were still on the finger, so definitely it counts. Number 9, Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore. Alright, what's up? I'm Ashton Kutcher and you just got punked! That's something that actually used to happen on TV all the time, and it sticks in my brain and I don't like it. In case that didn't unlock the MTV vault for you that I'm sure is hidden deep within everyone's memories, allow me to enlighten you. Ashton rose to fame following his successful role on the sitcom That 70s Show, as well as his time hosting the MTV prank show, Punk'd. Now, he married fellow actor Demi Moore in 2005 and stayed married for nearly 8 years. The split seemed to come from nowhere. There was some speculation that Ashton ended things to be with his current wife Mila, but that speculation was revealed to be complete bull poo-poo. In Demi's book titled Inside Out, she revealed that the cause of the split was actually due to Ashton's infidelity. Apparently, he cheated on her multiple times and actually told her about it, trying to pressure her into including a third party and create this open marriage thing that he wanted. When Ashton found out about this news becoming public, he was extremely upset. According to Ashton, he had finally gotten to a place where the media was just leaving him and his family alone, and literally the next day following the news, paparazzi were waiting for Ashton and his kids outside of their school. Not only did his cheating ruin his relationship with Demi, but it kind of caused a problem between himself and the rest of his family, so that's not good. Number 8. Lizzo and Mike Wright. During an interview on the radio show The Breakfast Club, Lizzo explained how she and her ex-partner Mike Wright were never really public, merely dropping their so-called soft launch earlier this year. But during the interview, Lizzo shared that she actually doesn't believe in the concept of monogamy, continuing by explaining her views on polyamory and so-called free love. Right on, man. She said that she didn't want to live by any specific set of rules and doubled down when another host on the show, Angela Yee, asked her if the circumstances would ever change should Wright disagree with this polyamory situation. Well, Lizzo just said, well, it's just love. If he chooses to no longer love her while she loved him, that was on him. But she claimed that they did share a lot of love and that the chances of a split were pretty unlikely. Well, whether it was that comment or the fact that she is being sued for some pretty gnarly stuff, Mike decided to leave the superstar in search of a new life. Probably the best decision he's ever made. Number 7. Scott Disick and Khloe Kardashian. Keeping Up with the Kardashians is a historical series in the world of reality TV. For over a decade, fans have been able to watch this family grow, both literally and figuratively, with the addition of friends, family, and in this case, ex-lovers. Scott and Kourtney's story began where all fairy tale relationships begin, at a famous friend's house in Mexico. In 2006, the pair attended a mutual friend's party at his home in Mexico, and a photograph from that night shows that they were sitting together, but they were nowhere near each other. Disick recounted liking Kourtney immediately, but that she wanted, nothing to do with him. But something must have changed in between A and B, as the two appeared as a couple on the series premiere of the reality show in 2007. At first, the family was standoffish, claiming that Scott was just immature and that his loyalties seemed to mean nothing because he might have been doing some stuff behind the cameras. Kris Jenner, Kourtney's mom, said in one episode that she knows that Scott was cheating on her daughter, but that she wasn't sure how to go about the situation. Disick denied the claims and reaffirmed that he loved Kourtney until he could deny no longer when sisters Kim and Khloe found a series of texts on an old phone from someone named My Wife, and well, it wasn't Kourtney. The text revealed that he had cheated on her while the family was staying in the Hamptons, and Kim was furious for about 2 seconds, and a year later she would announce that the pair were expecting their first child together, making the whole cheating thing just seem like water under the bridge. Well, it didn't stop, because over the years the couple split and healed over and over again, and one time Scott Disick even entered rehab with the support of Kourtney, and he still went out and did stuff behind her back. They split only to get back together again and again and again, and as of today they seem to have called it quits for good, but good lord, that is a very complicated relationship. Number 6. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. In 2015, Will Smith starred in a film called Focus, in which he played a con man in the midst of his latest scheme when a woman from his past, played by Margot Robbie, arrives and just throws everything for a loop. Timing of this film being made could not have been more perfect, as we know now that Will and Jada were taking a break during that time. For Jada, this meant an entanglement with August Alsina, and for Will, this might have meant some time for himself and Margot Robbie. They were free to rehearse their scenes in private, if you know what I mean. It was confirmed that Margot and Will weren't seeing each other during production of Focus, because there were a lot of pictures, but Jada Pinkett Smith was certain about it. Despite being legally married in 1997, the institutionalized concept of tying the knot just never really sat with Jada Pinkett Smith. Apparently, she only married Will because she was pregnant with Jaden and felt that it was the right move to make, which is always a healthy way to start the marriage. force. While Jada herself is also a cheater and has publicly admitted it, she's held a grudge towards Margot Robbie for 8 years, but there's never been any proof, and for some reason she's mad, even though there have been several times when these two have been like, oh, we're in an open marriage, isn't it neat? Well, Will and Jada might still be together for now, but I think we can all agree that they just need to get split already. Now, there are not a ton of public open marriages in the world of Hollywood these days. Oh, shocker. So why don't we just cover some cheater pumpkin eaters that have been exposed over the last couple of years. Number 5, Maud's son and Avril Lavigne. This year, shocking reports hit the internet claiming that Avril Lavigne had called off her engagement to Maud's son. Well, a TMZ insider claimed that things had been on and off for a while as the couple tried to mend their romance. But then when they got in touch with the Karma Singer team, a rep declared that the last thing he heard was the couple had been engaged, and that was only 3 days prior, so anything else would be news to him. Well, Avril Lavigne had been spotted out and about with a man named Tyga, who she claimed was just a friend. But the internet likes to gossip, so the headlines were Avril Lavigne cheats on Maud's son. 1 week after his tour started and the news broke, he posted a series of photos on Instagram, making reference to a broken heart, and knowing that there is a plan for everyone. Maud thanked his fans and then went dark. Since then, the two have been drenched in rumors, but the only thing that has been confirmed is these two now reside in Splitsville. Number 4, Corey Feldman and Courtney Ann. Former Lost Boys star Corey Feldman has had a pretty rough life. Things have not gone great for this man, and unfortunately that applies to the love department as well. After 7 years of marriage, he and his ex Courtney announced their split. According to Corey, life was just simply difficult for the couple, and the split was a mutual decision. However, one aspect he did not share with the world was the fact that for the past few years they were in an alleged open marriage. While this was just a speculation, the couple were known to be free spirits, so to speak. Following some health issues, according to Corey, it just didn't make sense for these two to stay married. He decided to give her time to heal alone, while he just kinda continues to do his thing. Number 3, Natalie Portman and Benjamin Millipede. After 11 years of marriage, it was recently announced that Thor: Love and Thunder star Natalie Portman and her husband Benjamin Millipede will be separating following a pretty public and messy affair on Ben's part. Ben, who I assume was named after a children's cartoon, was spotted with a 25-year-old climate activist. While Natalie Portman was mad, she initially tried to work things out with Ben in an attempt to save their marriage, but the affair put a massive strain on the relationship. Shocker. The couple had met on set of the 2009 drama Black Swan, Ben acting as a scriptwriter for that project. While the affair had shaken their relationship, when asked about the issues by Us Weekly, he said that he shared her pain and that he was sending her a new script. Huh? While they may still be working together professionally, emotionally, they have checked out. Number 2, Drake Bell and Janet Von Schmeling. Drake was a small screen sweetheart in the early 2000s, starring in several Nickelodeon shows like Drake and Josh and The Amanda Bynes Show, and he was on track to be a megastar in the world of Hollywood, but he's unfortunately one of those child actors who took a turn for the worse. He starred in a number of low-budget movies over the years, but his status as a celebrity was gone. The final nail was driven into the coffin in 2021 when Drake was sentenced to 2 years of probation and 200 hours of community service after it was revealed that he had been grooming a young fan for years. So if you see him in an orange jumpsuit on the side of the street or something, or cleaning graffiti, that's why. Recently, it was announced that his wife Janet had filed for a divorce from Drake following a situation where he was literally missing for 5 days on a bender doing God knows what with strange women. On the actual paperwork, Vaughn has cited irreconcilable differences and has requested legal and physical custody of the younglings. Now, in April of this year, Drake was reported missing, only to turn up completely unharmed 5 days later. According to Janet, Drake's mental health has been slowly declining in the last few years, but his toxicity towards his partners is nothing new, as his ex Melissa Lingefelt accused him of being verbally manipulative and physically violent. Between his rocky history and declining mental health, we're happy to see that Janet got out of there before anything too crazy took place. Who knows how bad of a dad he will be? We all know he can't build a treehouse. And at number 1, Shanine Doherty and Kurt Israenko. This past April, the alumni of Charmed filed for a divorce from her husband Kurt after 11 years of marriage. She was photographed in March without her wedding ring on display, causing many to assume that the divorce had been something they were planning for quite some time. As with most celebrities who file for a divorce, the couple cited irreconcilable differences, and Shanine claimed that divorce was the last thing she wanted. Unfortunately, her husband left her no choice. While there was no real confirmation on what was happening behind the scenes, according to Shanine herself, Kurt's agent intimately involved with their divorce. Neither Kurt nor his Kanye's agent have spoken out about the rumors, probably because they're too busy getting down. Ooh.
Starting off our listing in the number 10 spot, we have Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. When Miley released her new album, Endless Summer Vacation, some of her fans started to think that the album's lyrics contained cheating allegations against her ex-husband Liam Hemsworth. With both Liam and Miley first meeting in 2009 when they were both filming on the set of the last song, by December of 2018 they would finally tie the knot, and after being in an on and off again relationship for years, after they both split in 2019. When fans began listening to Miley Cyrus's new song Muddy Feet, they were quick to link the track's lyrics to Miley and Liam's relationship, in which Miley sings about smelling perfume that doesn't belong to her on her partner. When she sings, "And you smell like perfume I didn't purchase. Now I know why you've been closing the curtains. Get the F out of my house. I don't know who the hell you think you are messing with. Get the F out of my house with that stuff. Get the F out of my life with that." The pointed track would come just 2 months after Miley released her first single off the album called Flowers, which she also sparked buzz among fans, as it was a dig at Hemsworth and proved that Liam did in fact cheat on the singer with Jennifer Lawrence, and it also went on to highlight the couple's marriage and that it was everything but perfect, and she never was the bad guy like Liam's family painted her to be. Number 9. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. If you think a lot has happened since season 2 of the Kardashians, Kim Kardashian agrees. As in the first trailer for the Kardashians season 3, the mom of 4 can be heard saying, "I don't even know where we left off." When the producer reminds her that last season the Skims founder was dating Pete Davidson, she would then say, "Things changed really quickly." The trailer then took a sad turn after Khloe Kardashian asked Kim if she's feeling okay about everything, and this is where we can see Kim Kardashian breaking down when she says, "No, I'm not okay, I'm having such a hard day today." Amid Kim's divorce from Kanye West, her mother Kris Jenner can even seen being telling her daughter, saying that she has the weight of the world on her shoulders. Later, Kim can even be seen talking about what Kanye had to say about their kids being on social media during their heated divorce, when she said it was the most insane narrative and she was trying just to stay silent through all of the lies for her kids' sake. With season 3 premiering on Hulu May 25th, we know there's about to be some more drama to come with Kim and Kanye's dark divorce, and you can expect us to keep you all up to date on it. Hey everyone, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you never have to miss out on what we might just cover next. And trust me, you definitely want to tune into the next video. Coming in at the number 8 spot, we have Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. When Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise finally got divorced after being married for 5 years, fans would be shocked to learn that she made the decision to leave her ex-husband because she had reason to fear for her life and her daughter's life. With Tom being heavily involved in the controversial religion Scientology, he has been a well-devoted member of the church. With the Church of Scientology being known for treating defectors with intimidation and brainwashing techniques, when Katie finally realized what the church was doing to her and her daughter, she knew she had to get away. So in order to do so, she immediately went into hiding when the news of their split broke. Katie had to do so because she couldn't let anyone know, including Tom, where she was going, because she had to get out and stay safe. The matter would be resolved in 11 days and Katie would be granted physical custody of the couple's former daughter, and it would even be stated that Tom couldn't bring their daughter anywhere near the church, and Katie wouldn't be allowed to have any public relationships for 5 years as Tom was scared it would embarrass him. But it makes you wonder what the church did that scared Katie so much. Number 7. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. When Brad Pitt starred with Marion Cotillard in the drama Allied in 2016, rumors began circulating online, and in them they would claim that Brad was cheating on Angelina Jolie with his co-star. Of course, as many would remember in the past, the same rumor also plagued Brad when he was married to Jennifer Aniston, as when he was working on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the tabloids kept claiming that he was cheating on Jennifer Aniston with Angelina Jolie. With the rumors reaching a fever pitch, this is when we would see Angelina Jolie file for divorce from her ex-husband Brad Pitt on September 16th, 2019. But the truth would become so much darker than that. With the story honestly being a speculation as it follows, it is also alleged that the couple's relationship would come to an end after Brad was under the influence on a private plane with his family, and during an argument with Angelina when his adopted son stepped in to defend his mother, Angelina Jolie would claim that Brad actually struck him. And just 5 days later, Angelina would then file for a divorce, but that's not all. The Los Angeles Department of Child and Family Services and the FBI would then be called in to investigate the matter.
Amber. It would ultimately be cleared, but a long custody battle would end with a heartbreaking ending while Brad and Angelina agreed to share custody of their 6 kids, and Brad and his son have now remained estranged. Number 6, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. During Johnny Depp's and Amber Heard's bitter court battles, things got a little heated for both the stars, and their darkest secrets would be revealed within their messy feud. Shortly after Amber filed for divorce in May of 2016, just 15 months after her marriage came to an end, Amber would accuse Depp of getting into a physical argument with her, and she went on to obtain a temporary restraining order against him. The actress also initially requested that she should be given spousal support from Johnny, but later withdrew her appeal. Johnny and his lawyers have since denied Amber's claims, even after the two finalized their divorce back in 2022. The duo would also enter into a highly publicized defamation trial where they would accuse each other of some pretty gruesome claims. However, at the end of the day, the jury ultimately ruled in favor of Depp and then ordered Amber to pay her ex-husband $15 million in damages after they found and proved she acted with malice to ruin Johnny's career. After the jury's findings, they also did determine that Depp's attorney did make one defamatory statement about Amber, and she would be awarded $2 million in compensation. But the whole trial didn't exactly paint Amber to be the person she was trying to make the world believe she was. Number 5, Kris Jenner and Robert Kardashian. Kris Jenner definitely proved she hasn't always chosen the right path when it comes to her love life. And in the wake of her separation from Caitlyn Jenner, Kris Jenner would state that the only regret she had in her life was the fact that she got divorced from her first husband, Robert Kardashian, back in 1991. Kris would then later talk about her marriage to Robert when she decided to publish a memoir. And in the memoir, she would reveal that her marriage only came crashing down after she decided to have an affair with her husband and their good family friend, Todd Waterman, while she was still married to Robert. Now, you would think that the affair would have been her biggest regret in life, but at the end of the day, she really just regrets that she wasn't able to end up with Robert before he passed away in 2003. Later, the star would also admit that if she didn't cheat, she would have never gotten with Caitlyn Jenner and gave birth to her 2 beautiful daughters, Kylie and Kendall. While she looked at it through that lens, she would then realize that she doesn't really have a lot of regrets when it comes to her life, except for cheating on her late ex-husband. Number 4, James Cameron and Linda Hamilton. James Cameron's ex-wife, Linda Hamilton, has always described James as being a man married to his job. That was until he was gone and got married to somebody else. While James Cameron's 1997 film Titanic sunk his own relationship, his 4th wife, Linda Hamilton, once came out to shade James from the Titanic film point of view when she said, "The Titanic was the mistress he left me for." The Terminator star then went on to describe every year she was married to the director as being one of the most terrible things to happen on almost every level. She also claimed that James was also consumed so much by his work almost every day with his cinematic Leviathan. In the 90s, during the couple's former divorce settlement, Linda would also be able to walk away with a $50 million settlement, and it would be described as being one of Hollywood's biggest divorce settlements that Hollywood has ever seen at this time. James then went on to get married quickly to his actual human mistress, who happened to be the Titanic actress Susie Amiz. Number 3, Alec Baldwin and Kate Basinger. After Alec Baldwin and his ex-wife Kim Basinger finally got divorced, their custody battle would go on over their daughter Ireland for years to come. Eventually, an infamous voicemail would then start to be leaked all over media sites after Alec could be seen calling his daughter, who was 11 years old at the time, a rude and thoughtless pig. While the voicemail definitely went on to paint a not so pleasing picture of Alec, it really started to show how he treated his family. By 2008, the former couple's divorce would then be filed with hundreds of legal documents, 91 court proceedings, and approximately $3 million in legal fees. And things will remain pretty heated between the two. But it wasn't really shocking, as how could you say such hurtful things about your own child? With more than a decade later, in 2016, Kim would reveal that things between her and her ex finally cooled down as the pair noticed that they had to be better co-parents for their daughter, as their feud was affecting her negatively. But thank goodness they came to that thought. Number 2, Princess Diana and
Prince Charles. Princess Diana's marriage to Prince Charles was extremely strained, and when the media began reporting about both of their infidelities, Queen Elizabeth once even had to write them a letter where she gave them one chilling demand. When the Queen urged both Diana and Charles to get a divorce, by August of 1996 her will would be done, as the young couple went their separate ways after a notorious stressful marriage. However, things would become even darker, as after Charles and Diana finally finalized their divorce, Diana would be stripped of her Royal Highness status, so the family could make a mockery out of her. This meant that she would have to curtsy to those who had it, including her own children. Later, Diana would pass away in a mysterious car crash after she started to leak royal secrets to the press. And since her passing has many conspiracy theories that all point fingers at the royal family, as they claim, but seriously, the fact she knew she was going to pass away in a car crash just weeks before it happened is a pretty unsettling thought. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Madonna and Guy Ritchie. Madonna and director Guy Ritchie had a pretty interesting 8-year marriage, to say at least. When the former couple's marriage came to an end in 2008, the Material Girl singer even had to pay Ritchie $92 million in a settlement, and their divorce is still highlighted to be one of the world's biggest divorce payouts to this day in Hollywood history. And if the couple's split couldn't get any more messier, this is when Madonna's lawyers also started to accuse Ritchie of being verbally incorrect, as he couldn't stop calling Madonna a granny. While Ritchie's lawyers have also gone on to accuse Madonna of being emotionally controlling, the world would soon come to know that it isn't really easy to date Madonna, as she rarely allowed her husband to eat meat, and she never let him host his friends at their home. With the two having such a complicated relationship, maybe it isn't exactly a tragedy that they both split up. Cheating is never right, no matter what the situation is, and if you're having doubts about your partner, have a conversation with them instead of hurting them.
At number 10, we have Meghan Markle and Princess Diana's similarities. People can't help but compare Meghan to her late mother-in-law. Their progressive viewpoints and the public's opinions of them align, and people worry that she could have a similar fate. It didn't help that just a couple of weeks ago, it was reported that after attending a charity event in New York, Prince Harry, Meghan, and Meghan's mother Doria were in a car chase. Similar to Princess Diana's tragic accident, they were chased by paparazzi. There were claims that the chase lasted 2 hours, but the police officers that helped the royal family security didn't mention anything about a car chase. As it turns out, this was an over-exaggerated version of what really happened. While they were hounded by paparazzi, there was no car chase. All three made it to their destination safe and sound, as there was no evidence showing that they were participants in an adrenaline-fueled car ride. People criticized the royal family for making it seem worse than it really was, as it was described as nearly catastrophic. One of their drivers said it wasn't a car chase and that he never felt like he was in any danger. He did say the family seemed quiet and scared in the car, but nothing big really happened. Next, we have their potential divorce. People started assuming that divorce was on the table when it was rumored that they were growing more distant from each other. Once at a Lakers game, they were set up for the kiss cam segment, but Meghan moved away when Prince Harry went in for a kiss. This doesn't actually mean anything because she probably isn't very big on PDA in the first place. If you think about it, how often do you see a picture of the two kissing? Exactly. While people were assuming the worst, others were defending her actions, saying that it doesn't necessarily mean anything bad is happening between them. Then there were rumors of Harry staying at the luxurious San Vincent bungalows whenever he needed space for Meghan. These claims were immediately shut down by his reps, but sources were incessant that he did so when they fought and he wanted to escape the house. These are big claims coming from unverified sources. As an extremely elite and exclusive club hotel, they don't disclose who stays on their properties, so there's no way of finding out if Prince Harry was ever a guest there to begin with. Next on the list, we have how she didn't want to attend the coronation. Meghan and their two kids were not present for King Charles' coronation. People assumed there was drama and bad blood and Meghan should be the bigger person and go anyways. They thought Harry was hurt and offended that she wouldn't attend this monumental event for his father. Clearly isn't the case, as you have to remember that the couple agreed to stay away from their royal duties 3 years ago. Sure, would it have been nice to attend? Why not? But things have always been weird when it came to her and her royal in-laws. Maybe she avoided it altogether to avoid any potential exaggerated headlines, especially with her children by her side. And that's another thing. It was her son's birthday the same day, and that's obviously a priority too. Despite her clear absence, people began theorizing that she actually did show up, but in disguise. It was mostly a joke, but there were claims that Welsh composer Sir Carl Jenkins was just Meghan in costume. Next, at number 7, we have King King Charles' coronation. So yes, Prince Harry attended his father's coronation solo. He was seen at the Buckingham Palace balcony along with his brother William and the rest of the royal family. He was actually sitting away from his immediate family members during the procession. This decision was obviously due to the fact that he and Meghan walked away from their royal duties, so he was no longer necessary to actively participate in it. But King Charles is still his father, so of course he showed up. People thought he was upset that Meghan and the kids didn't go with him, but people also love creating narratives to fit their fantasies. What if he didn't want to go either and he just did it out of obligation? I doubt it, but if we're gonna throw stories around, then why not? It's not like he was the odd one out, but he kind of was, as it was weird to see a prince apart from the other royal members. He wasn't even seated at the front row. He was given a seat at the third row and several seats away from his brother. It was later reported that after the ceremony, he didn't even stay for any celebration and went straight to the airport. During post-ceremony celebrations at the Buckingham Palace, where the rest of his family were, Prince Harry was already checking into his flight back to his other family. Next on the list, we have Samantha Markle's defamation case. Meghan's half-sister, Samantha, filed a lawsuit against her under baseless claims rooted in unverified speculation and conjecture. After the release of the book Finding Freedom, an unauthorized biography written about Meghan and Harry, there was a particular chapter that she didn't like. It was called A Problem Like Samantha, and that alone obviously got her attention. Aside from the book, she also said that Meghan made more defamatory comments during the infamous Oprah interview. She brought up how Meghan said, "I grew up as an only child, which everyone who grew up around me knows, and I wish I had siblings." And she seemed personally offended by that. She also said Meghan's comments in the book and in the media caused irreparable injury and harm to her reputation, as well as anxiety and emotional distress. Apparently, as a result, she also received tons of hate mail, poor media representation, and one stalker. Unfortunately for her, she did not win the case, as the judge dismissed it, claiming the evidence was not enough to prove that Meghan had the book published herself. Next, we have how she made him cut ties with his family. 3 years ago, Harry and Meghan announced they would be officially stepping down from their royal duties effective immediately. In their written public statement, they said they will obviously still be living and supporting the crown and will be splitting their time between the UK and living in California. It seems like it was a mutual agreement and not one based on Meghan herself. This alone shows how devoted Harry is to her and their truth, because the fact he's balancing this all with his reputation and his duties as Prince Harry, that's real love. During the press conference regarding the announcement, he wanted to make it clear that this transition did not mean they'd be walking away from their duties altogether. He was hoping to continue onward with it without public funding, but found that it wasn't an option. He also said, "I've accepted this knowing that it doesn't change who I am or how committed I am, but I hope that helps you understand what it had to come to, that I would step my family back from all I have ever known to take a step forward into what I can hope can be a more peaceful life." Queen Elizabeth later released her own statement sharing her and the family's support for their couple and their choice to live independently from the crown. At number 4, we have security issues. Because of this decision to live independently from the royal family, Harry was more than willing to pay for his family's own security when traveling to the UK. But for some reason, this wasn't allowed. In a statement written by the UK's executive committee, they wrote, "It was not appropriate to support an outcome whereby wealthy individuals could buy protective security from specialist police officers, potentially including armed officers. They were saying it affects public interest because it's publicly funded." I hope that makes sense to you, because I still don't get it. If you think about it, it's kind of dumb. Harry is battling it out with the UK High Court because he wants to pay for security, as in give them money in exchange of their services, and they won't let him. It seems he's lost and they're still in talks of how to go about it. If they're offering him free security and he doesn't want to accept it out of obligation to the whole living independently thing, I think he should just take it. Their safety is top priority at this point. Next on the list, we have Prince Harry's hacker. Harry and Meghan's marriage is so publicized, people will do anything to get their hands on the nitty-gritty details for the next biggest headline. There was often blame put on Meghan that they go through so much and he shouldn't be willing to go through this extra mile for her. Regardless who Harry ended up with, the aftermath would still be the same, as he's been hounded by paparazzi and nasty articles all his life. In 2019, he sued the newspaper company The Mirror for phone hacking after they revealed very personal experiences of his life that no one should have ever found out about. These stories were specifically from 1995 to 2011, and they managed to get information about his family, their relationship, his time in the military, and even stuff about his ex-girlfriend Chelsea Davy. The newspaper's representatives said they once hired a private investigator to gain intel, and other methods were done within the law. Harry did lose the case with lack of evidence, but he did receive an apology from them and other local publishing companies. At number 2, we have how their relationship is always serious. So why would anyone want to be in a boring relationship? People think that just because of their status and all the drama that comes with marrying into royalty, there's no time for joy. They have their responsibilities, but they have fun too sometimes. Remember that Lakers game I mentioned earlier? That was actually a date, because why else would they go to it? They were spotted in the arena, and like many celebrities, their presence was captured and made known to the rest of the audience. They were shown on the Jumbotrons, they were part of the evening's kiss cam, and that's all there was to it. A few months ago, they attended a charity gala where they were awarded an award for their philanthropy. On stage, Harry made a joke about how he thought they were there for a date night. Then he turned to the audience and said, "We don't get out much because our kids are so small and young, so this is completely unexpected. It's nice to share date night with all of you. Thank you for coming." Meghan joined in on the joke and thanked him for taking her out, and this just goes to show that their marriage isn't all formal and interviews. They can have fun too. And finally, at number 1, we have his father-in-law. Meghan and her father's relationship was a constant debate. She would describe their relationship as strained, while others on his side of the family said they were close. Nonetheless, Thomas Markle made headlines when he was caught staging photos for the paparazzi. He was famous by association and was willing to participate in this odd photo shoot for the British press. CCTV footage at an internet cafe caught Thomas meeting up with his photographer Jeff Rayner. One of the photos included candid shots of him looking at a picture of Meghan and his son-in-law. Who would even use that picture? It's so obviously staged. It's unclear if he was paid for this or not, but some of the photos were sold for up to £100,000, so I wouldn't be surprised if they promised him a cut of their profits. Later, he did sue Jeff and his media company for publishing photos without his approval, which apparently went against their signed contract. So with all this, is marrying into royalty really worth it? Seems like they're constantly battling it out with the media to uphold their version of their fairy tale ending.
At number 10, we have former acting couple Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher. The questionable age gap at the time of their relationship was already convincing enough for many to believe that their marriage would not make it to the end of time. The two met back when Demi was 25 and Ashton was 41, but the older star had 3 children closer in age to him than Demi was. With this fact in mind, there were also rumors of infidelity on his part and opening up their relationship to others that certainly did not help keep their marriage afloat. It's been reported by various sources that the most surprising outcome of the marriage ending is just how long it took for them to call it quits. Yikes. At number 9, we have another acting twosome who announced they were splitting yet again, at no real surprise for fans. Apparently, the ex-spouses were having an insane amount of marital issues for years before their separation. Alongside rumors of infidelity in their relationship, there were also apparently the tripling up of Ben's gambling and drinking problems. It probably didn't save their situation once Ben announced in his 2013 Oscar speech how he and Jennifer were working on their marriage at that point. Surely you may not all be that shocked to know, with all that information, that the two revealed the end of their marriage in 2015. At number 8, we have actress Gwyneth Paltrow and English singer-songwriter Chris Martin, who didn't make the public announcement that they decided to separate until 2014, following 10 whole years of marriage. There were very obvious signs between them that indicated they might not have been seeing a long future together, and it seems fans were undoubtedly right on the money. Not one of them was caught off guard due to the fact that they would not pose together on red carpets nor discuss one another in interviews they gave prior. In fact, when Gwyneth discussed her marriage in interviews, it was only to explain how hard it was for her to be married. Reportedly, there were cheating rumors involved with them, and they were broadcasted as another Hollywood couple with an open marriage. Regardless, the very obvious signs that things were donezo were clearly written in the stars long before the divorce papers were signed, stamped, and finalized. At number 7, we have actor Tom Cruise and actress Katie Holmes. Now, these two were somewhat of a wreck just waiting to happen, according to just about everybody. As soon as they went public with their love back in 2005, the public was already expecting a breakup to take place between the two of them. It was said to be mainly due to their age difference, but there were also loads of smaller issues that most likely played a huge part in their romantic demise. For one, Tom was 14 years Katie's senior, and there was the biggest and probably least surprising Scientology mess. Where Katie was brought up as a Catholic, Tom was heavily devoted to the practice of Scientology, which has its own slew of bad rumors and unethical practices and brainwashing techniques attached to its name. Then there was the fact that both Tom and Katie were at two very different places in their career at the time, which inevitably doomed their relationship from the get-go. Where Tom was a megastar hitting all the biggest screens, Katie was just up and coming as an actress. Surprisingly enough, their marriage remained intact for 6 whole years, but on the opposite end, no one was quite shocked to see it go. At number 6, we have former lovebirds from the second season of the reality series Love is Blind. Featured stars Danielle Rule and Nick Thompson are reportedly calling their marriage quit after a single year of being together. According to news sources that were scoped from multiple online documents, Danielle filed for divorce in Illinois on August 15th at the Cook County Circuit Court. The once seemingly happy duo met and fell in love on Netflix's dating show and went on to tie the knot in June 2021. Their season finale wedding was featured in the show, which was released in February of this year. However, they haven't publicly confirmed their split when news sources originally made the discovery and began publishing their stories. More so, Danielle is still listed as a Thompson in her Instagram bio and handle. On June 8th, the couple posted sweet tributes on Instagram to mark the celebration of their 1-year wedding anniversary, so things seemed okay at that time. In fact, Nick's post featured an image of him and Danielle at their wedding, with an explanation that although marriages broadcasted on TV are tough, he and Danielle are, quote, putting in the work to get to know each other and learn how to be partners for one another. The former spouses were the only pair of the two couples on season 2 of Love is Blind to end up tying the knot, as the opposite duo Ayana and Jarrett announced their plans to divorce just a few days after Danielle filed for her own separation paperwork, ironically enough. Many LIB fans were initially disappointed to know that these couples broke up, as season 1 couples Lauren and Cameron and Amber and Matthew are still together to this day. At number 5, we have the queen of pop Britney Spears and her ex-husband Kevin Federline. I think it's safe to say that once Britney first made the announcement that she would be walking down the aisle with her former backup dancer turned lover, the world seemingly knew they'd be a disaster waiting to crash. But people were surprised when Britney and Kevin began having children together. Still, fans were wickedly anticipating a divorce announcement from Britney and Kevin at the time. Their relationship lasted a brief 2 years before Britney apparently blindsided Kevin with her filing for divorce. However, supporters of the pop star weren't nearly as disturbed by it, of course. At number 4, we have previous Keeping Up with the Kardashian love stars Kris Jenner and Caitlyn Jenner, who formerly went by Bruce Jenner back when they were married. One thing I can tell you for sure is that at the beginning, their relationship seemed picture perfect. They had the typical solid match made in heaven type of romance, apparently, but this soon changed as Kris began growing more and more successful with their family becoming just as famous. This is where Kris and the previously Bruce's relationship would experience major change. By the time the reality show hit its 4th season, it appeared Kris and Caitlyn couldn't really stand to be around each other. However, in probably the most surprising feat on today's list, both reality stars managed to make it all the way to season 8 before they finally put a wrap on their marriage. Still, this one was deemed by fans worldwide to be a marriage destined for failure for a long time coming. At number 3, we have comedian John Mulaney and his ex-wife and artist Anne Marie Tendler. The couple shared a 6-year-long relationship and a dog prior to the end of their romantic ties. John would very frequently make jokes regarding their relationship during his comedy stand-up routines, including one in 2018 where he referred to Anne as a dynamite female dog during his Kid Gorgeous special. We'll never know if the jokes on top of the other BS became too much for Anne in the end, but the pair officially headed for Splitsville in July. Their divorce announcement followed a few short months after John was admitted into rehab for substance abuse back in December 2020. After this, he would go on to date actress Olivia Munn, where he continued to stir up relationship news drama. The most shocking thing for fans of Olivia and John was the announcement of their then soon-to-be welcome child, born in November 2021. John has headlined just about every pop culture news outlet you can think of nowadays for the way he broke things off with Anne. At number 2, we have formerly married twosome Chris Pratt and Anna Faris. These two public icons are very heavily part of Hollywood's former it couples because everybody loved them. However, even with this, it seems that there were a few fans who weren't all that surprised by their eventual separation. In 2018, their divorce was announced from the original marriage in 2009, and Anna has been vocal about feeling as if she was forced to split with Chris after 8 years of marriage, but she has since re-fallen in love with cinematographer Michael Barrett. Chris is currently married to Hollywood royalty Catherine Schwarzenegger. Still, Anna and Chris first met during a 2007 table read where they're sharing starring roles in the film Take Me Home Tonight. In the end though, Anna became angry over were fans' reactions to her split with Chris and the picture-perfect family image she tried her hardest to create that crumbled right before her eyes. At number 1, we have the world's least shocking couple to divorce to date, Miss Kim Kardashian and her rapping ex-husband Kanye West. With the spiral both their relationship and Kanye himself was headed into, it wasn't a shock to Kim Ye fans when the former celebrity couple decided to part ways. It seems non-shocking ends to marriages run deep in the Kardashian family too, as of course we need to honorably mention Khloe's failed marriage with her previous partner Lamar Odom. Still, Kim and Kanye have been dubbed as today's incoming split just bound to happen, according to fans and viewers of the Keeping Up with the Kardashian reality show. Apparently their fate was set in stone as far back as them tying the knot in 2014, according to many. Reportedly, the once powerhouse duo constantly butted heads in their later years due to their rising careers and demanding schedules. Words of Kim once stated, "He should have a wife that supports his every move and travels with him and does everything, and I can't." This was back during the series finale of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where she cried during her confession. Ironically enough, Kim was also the one who filed for divorce back in February 2021. She later explained to Vogue that her reasoning for them separating was actually because she made the decision to put herself first. Quote, "Even if that created changes and caused my divorce, I think it's important to be honest with yourself about what really makes you happy." And while Kim Ye once held the title of star-crossed lovers in the beginning, Kanye is still intent on making their marriage work once more, even with Kim wanting to move on. Since then, Kanye had posted a number of direct Instagram uploads for Kim, with one stating, "God please bring our family back together," from a since deleted post. However, Kim seemed content with continuing forward, as she was soon romantically linked to and later confirmed to be dating her now ex-boyfriend Pete Davidson. I'm sure you know how these events have played out at this point, and if not, well, you're in for quite the wild ride.
Number 10, Jeremy Allen White and Addison Timlin. Jeremy made a big move in the acting world after his FX comedy series The Bear premiered on Disney Plus this past year, but he's actually been making people laugh, cry, and scream since starring as Lip Gallagher in the hit TV series Shameless, a show that I definitely haven't watched 10 times start to finish back to back. Definitely wouldn't do that. No sir. He met his future wife Addison on set of a film called After School in 2008. They were close friends for almost 12 years before becoming an official item in 2019. The relationship has mainly taken place behind the scenes apart from a few Instagram posts, but Jeremy's love for his wife has been well known since his acceptance speech at the 2023 Golden Globes, where he won the award for the best actor in a musical or comedy TV series. Unfortunately, roughly 2 months ago, Addison filed for a divorce from Jeremy with little to no explanation so far. 3 days following the divorce announcement, she posted a picture of herself with her daughter on Instagram and captioned it "Single Mom," which was apparently news to Jeremy, who was under the impression that they would be co-parenting. While their relationship may have ended in a mess, there might be a new one on the horizon, as Jeremy was spotted with Wizards of Waverly Place star Selena Gomez. Hey, Lip Gallagher and Alex Russo would be so cute together. Number 9, Natalie Portman. After 11 years of marriage, it was recently announced that Thor Love and Thunder star Natalie Portman and her husband Benjamin Millipede will be separating following a very public and messy affair on Ben's part. Ben, who I assume is named after a kid's cartoon, was spotted with a 25-year-old climate activist. While Portman was mad, she initially did try to work things out with Ben in an attempt to save their marriage, but the affair put a massive strain on their relationship. The couple had met on set of the 2009 drama Black Swan, with Ben acting as a scriptwriter for the project. While the affair had shaken up their relationship, when asked about the issues by Us Weekly, he said that he shared her pain and that he was sending her a new script. I don't know, while they may still be working together professionally, emotionally speaking, they have definitely checked out. Number 8, Drake Bell and Janet von Schmeling. Drake was a small screen sweetheart in the early 2000s, starring in several Nickelodeon shows and movies like Drake and Josh, The Amanda Bynes Show, and of course the live-action Fairly Odd Parents. He was on track to be a megastar in the world of Hollywood, but unfortunately is one of the many Nickelodeon stars who took a turn for the worse. He starred in a number of low-budget flicks over the years, but his status as a celebrity was gone at that point. The nail was finally driven into the coffin in 2021 when Drake was sentenced to 2 years of probation and 200 hours of community service after it was revealed that he had been grooming a younger fan for years. So if you see him in an orange jumpsuit cleaning graffiti off of a wall, you might know why. Recently, it was announced that his wife Janet had filed for divorce from Drake following that situation and another one where he was missing for 5 days on a bender doing God knows what with the strange women and friends that she had never met. On the actual paperwork, Vaughn has cited irreconcilable differences and has requested legal and physical custody of their younglings. In April of this year, Drake was reported missing, only to turn up completely unharmed 5 days later, and according to Janet, Drake's mental health had slowly been declining in the last few years. His toxicity towards his partners is nothing new, as his ex Melissa Lingefelt accused him of being verbally manipulative and physically violent. Between his rocky history and declining mental health, we're happy to see that Janet got out of there before anything too crazy took place. Who knows how bad of a dad this guy could actually be? I mean, we all know he can't build a treehouse. Number 7, Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner. Joe and Sophie got together back in 2016 after they had been set up by mutual friends, something that they had been trying to do for quite some time. They got together and instantly fell in love, getting married just over a year after getting together. Sophie admitted to Rolling Stones in 2019 that she was hesitant at first. Joe was this big musician and she was a big TV and film star, meaning that most of the time they would be on opposite ends of the world. Eventually she warmed up and got together with Joe officially, but the split came out of nowhere. For the most part, their relationship has seemed to be stable on the outside. They were never a part of a cheating scandal, which is surprising considering Joe's lack of discretion in the past. There were never any strange rumors or photos, they were just this happy couple. But as of September 1st, Joe Jonas has filed for a divorce from Sophie, with the only current information being that Joe has claimed the relationship to be irretrievably broken. Something pretty serious must have gone on in a very short amount of time. Only hours before the announcement, Joe posted a photo of himself to Instagram with his ring on full display. Despite the minimal amount of tea spilt so far, we are in for a very messy divorce. Number 6, Britney Spears and Sam Asghari. Britney and Sam's marriage is in shambles. The couple that got together back in 2016 seemed to be great on the outside. As Britney was getting better overall, her relationship with Sam became more and more serious. Sam was right there by her side through thick and thin. Eventually they tied the knot in 2022, which is why it was so devastating for her fans to learn that the couple had called it quits just a little over a month ago. The words used on the actual divorce paperwork say irreconcilable differences, which for Hollywood people just tends to mean nothing good. Sam was the one to officially file for the divorce, demanding that Britney pay spousal support and attorney fees. Since this news is so recent, there is no current update on how the couple are doing or how deep into the process they are. Britney once again made headlines in the media, something that she hadn't really done since the early 2010s. Her divorce was covered constantly and the internet has been weighing in their decisions ever since. Number 5, Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater. So bear with me here for a moment because Ariana is actually the cause of this divorce, so strap in. The pop star and Broadway giant are set to star in a film adaptation of the Broadway hit Wicked, following the story of the Wicked Witch before the events of The Wizard of Oz. Ariana plays Glinda the Good and Slater is Bach, the main love interest of the Wicked Witch. It's ironic that Ariana is the good witch though, as she appears to have stolen another woman's man. Ethan was married to a woman named Lily J since 2018, and the pair even welcomed their first child into the world in 2022. Apparently, Ariana and Ethan fell in love on set and started dating behind the scenes. However, on-set insiders shared the information to Slater's wife, who was furious, and while the couple have agreed to raise their child as co-parents, Ethan officially filed for a divorce in July of this year. Number 4, Billy Porter and Adam Smith. Billy and Adam have been together for 6 years before recently announcing their amicable divorce. The American Horror Story star and his husband Adam met after being introduced by a mutual friend in 2009. They briefly dated but ultimately split before getting back together in 2015 and tying the knot a year later. Over the past few years, they have been one of Hollywood's favorite couples, regularly being spotted at award ceremonies and fancy events, just happily holding each other. It's so cute, it makes me want to vomit. Unfortunately, their relationship seems to have slowly fizzled out as they announced they would be filing for a divorce. The decision came from a conversation that they had and a decision that they made mutually, claiming they will remain friends for the rest of their lives. However, the online rumors and backlash suggest that something a little bit darker has taken place behind the scenes. They've asked everyone to give them some privacy, so why don't we skip some bad jokes and not get into the rumors and just move on to the next entry. Number 3, Shanine Doherty and Kurt Israenko. This past April, the alumni of Charmed filed for a divorce from her husband Kurt after 11 years of marriage. She was photographed in March without her wedding ring on display, causing many to assume that the divorce had been something planned for quite some time. As with most celebrities who file for divorce, the couple cited irreconcilable differences photos, Shanine claimed that the divorce was the last thing she wanted. Unfortunately, her hubby left her no options. While there was no real confirmation on what was happening behind the scenes, according to Shanine herself, Kurt's agent was intimately involved with their divorce. Neither Kurt nor his agent has spoken out about the rumors, probably because they're too busy getting down. Ooh. Number 2, Noel Gallagher and Sarah McDonald. The former Oasis frontman, now in his mid-50s, revealed that himself and his wife Sarah would be filing for a divorce after 12 years of marriage. According to Noel, the couple simply got bored with each other, something not uncommon for people in their 50s. Speaking with Ireland's Hot Press magazine, Sarah told the outlet that the split was because she was sick and tired of Noel's partying habits. Even at the age of 55, this guy is acting like he's 20 years old, coming home late and reeking of no-no juice. Noel denied the claims and said that it was because of 2020 and being stuck with her for months on end. Noel claimed that while he hated his time in isolation, it was a very revealing time in his life. He was able to work on songs that were unfinished, as well as create some new ones. Much like a ton of couples at that time, they were realizing that they just weren't good at sharing a space. Before, they were able to go out and about and be alone, but for a solid 6 months, it was just them in a house every single day. So we get it. Number 1, Reese Witherspoon and Jim Toth. Over the years, Reese made quite the name for herself, starring in films like Legally Blonde, Walk the Line, and Hot Pursuit. She was well known for being a comedic actor able to tap into her serious side when the time came for it. Along for the ride right up until 2023 was Jim Toth. Jim has starred in a handful of projects, but mainly acts as a producer, creating sitcoms like According to Jim. The couple first got together in 2011 and quickly tied the knot. Over the last 12 years, there was never a sign that this couple was headed for disaster, but that may be due in part to them not getting out much. Reese has continued to act fairly steadily over the years, but for some reason, she has been appearing less and less in the public. Perhaps there was something going on behind the scenes, as the announcement came only 2 days before they were supposed to celebrate their 12-year anniversary. According to a statement released by both of them, the decision was a mutual one, saying that they enjoyed their time with each other, but things just don't work out sometimes. That literally could have been the summarization for all of these splits.
Coming in at number 10 today, we have the deleted Instagram. Over the weekend, reports all across social media would claim that Ariana's husband, Dalton Gomez, deactivated his Instagram. And in the process, fans have started to speculate that the married couple was headed towards a divorce. According to recent articles, just after fans started questioning Dalton's sexuality, he would deactivate his Instagram page. However, it's still unsure whether or not these accusations regarding who he is interested in or not was actually behind the reason for him to deactivate his account in the first place. With Ariana's husband reportedly not using Instagram regularly, he could have just deactivated his account because he just doesn't want to use social media anymore. With the two being happily married, that hasn't stopped the divorce rumors from swirling around Hollywood, and it makes us wonder if this whole thing is just being blown out of proportion by the public, as there hasn't been any signs to show that the pair are separating online. Well, that's just yet. Who knows what we might see in the weeks to come. Number 9, still loves Mac Miller. After Ariana's relationship turned toxic with Mac Miller, she would be devastated when she made the decision to leave the late star. Her desire to be his rock and to help him battle through his ongoing substance abuse became a little too much for her, as he wasn't able to accomplish anything that they were working on together, and she understandably couldn't bear to watch him go down this destructive road. Back in 2018, Grande would make her first public comment regarding the couple's breakup when she would say, "Unconditional love is not selfish. It's wanting the best for the person, even at that moment it's not you. I can't wait to know and support you forever, and I'm so proud of you." Mac would then pass away on September 7th, 2018, leaving Ariana to only be able to wish for her to tell him in person what he actually meant to her, as she expressed on her smash hit Thank You Next, and has since never stopped expressing her love for the star, even as she has moved on in her personal life with her husband Dalton Gomez. But as she falls more in love with Dalton, she's struggling to stop comparing her new love to Mac, and it's becoming really hard for the star, as in 2019 she even choked up during a show in his hometown of Pittsburgh when she got to the part, "I wish I could say thank you to Malcolm because he was an angel," in her song Thank You Next. And she even had his music playing in the arena earlier that evening as concert goers filled into the arena.
Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never have to miss what we might just cover next. Coming in at number 8, we have the rushed marriage. With Ariana and her Los Angeles real estate husband Dalton Gomez having a year-long lockdown relationship when the pair announced in December of 2020 they were engaged after just 11 months of dating. While both Ariana's and Dalton's families were thrilled about the two getting married, some of Ariana's friends were concerned that the pair's relationship was moving a little too fast. Some even told Entertainment Tonight they weren't even sure if the pair were actually going to last. With there no doubt about the couple being very much in love, but some of their friends thought the arrangement was somewhat rushed and they were very skeptical when it came to the fact that the pair's relationship could ultimately be short-lived. With the pair mainly being able to keep to themselves, they were forced for over a year to just enjoy each other's company, especially since Ariana bought a house so she could live in it with Dalton, and since they've kept their relationship pretty private, so it makes us wonder what could be happening behind closed doors. Number 7, famous friends. It's no doubt that the only reason why Ariana's relationship has made it this far it's because it's been pretty private. However, he tends to be friends with the same circle as Ariana, which could pose as a bit of a stress on the couple's relationship from time to time, as it means they are with each other a lot of the time. They don't really have any spare time to escape like a normal couple would. With TMZ pointing out that Dalton does in fact have other celebrity friends, which include Miley Cyrus, as she shared a story with him hanging out with her other friends back in 2017. We know personally Miley is close to Ariana, as they've even teamed up from time to time to collab on certain projects, and that means her fiance runs in the same circle as she does. Number 6. He was her realtor. Unlike most of Ariana's exes, Dalton is not an entertainer, but instead he's a Los Angeles real estate agent. Currently he serves as the director of estates division for luxury real estate company Aaron Kerman's group, where he works with A-list clients. According to his company's website, Dalton has 7 years of experience when it comes to the luxury real estate market, and during his first 3 years in the business he served as the director of operations, which meant he was running all the day-to-day operations for one of the top luxury real estate teams in LA, which means that the couple actually met when Ariana was looking for a house outside of Los Angeles to be her getaway house, and her team found Dalton to help her with that, which makes you wonder, is it against the business ethics to go on a date with her in the first place, since he was employed by the singer? After all, he helped her find a house. Number 5, she made the first move. So we all appreciate a girl who's brave enough to make the first move, but at times certain girls who made the first move in the first place aren't exactly happy with the fact that they had to be the one to do it. So according to US Weekly, when Ariana was looking for a house outside of Los Angeles to be her getaway home, her team and Dalton helped her find the perfect location. However, Ariana, when she finally met Dalton and saw him in person for the first time, she immediately thought he was cute and very good looking, so she asked her team if they could set up an in-person meeting with him. And from there, Ariana fell very hard for the real estate agent as soon as she met with him. After the two met, Ariana went on to follow Dalton and his tattoo artist brother Dakota, and one of them even pointed out that Dalton and Aaron Kerman had the listing for the property that she purchased. Dalton also went on to comment on her Instagram live one time saying, "This girl is cute," to the point she responded by saying, "I feel blessed." Number 4, hidden marriage. It seems like much of Ariana's relationship is very quiet when you compare it to her other relationships. Maybe this is because Dalton isn't exactly an A-list celebrity, or maybe it's because he wants to keep things a secret. But honestly, it's not really shocking that Dalton wouldn't want the relationship to be in the spotlight, as any celebrity couple who flaunts their relationship in public doesn't end up looking really happy, and their relationships don't really end up lasting. But this, at the end of the day, could be because Ariana has doubts about their relationship. With the pair having a tiny and intimate ceremony with less than 20 people, it definitely wasn't the fairy tale come true wedding for the star, and I think we can all agree everything just looked a little basic, especially since it was a wedding for a girl who legit bragged about that if she wanted something, she could have it. And having those 7 rings, we were expecting big, lavish, and a fairy book inspired wedding. We wanted Wicked vibes, and that's just not what we got. With their romance being so happy,
and full of love, it makes you wonder why the couple kept their marriage a secret and why it took them so long to announce that they were actually getting married. Number 3, the signed prenup. Over the years, we have seen many celebrity divorces hit the fan. as they involved so much money and problems for the stars. And we have to face it, when it comes to splitting the cash, it wasn't exactly easy. Considering that Ariana Grande is worth $180 million before her marriage, she could have lost an awful lot of money if she went into her marriage unprotected. And many people started to point out that it could have been the wrong marriage. And she even had doubts about this person she was marrying. As when fans came to learn the Thank You Next singer finally did tie the knot with the real estate agent in May of 2021, some of them were super concerned that he was only marrying her because he was after her money. Fortunately, it certainly seems like his intentions were pure according to rumors, as Ariana's husband signed a prenup, and if the facts are true, it was also stated that Ariana's lawyer spent months putting together an ironclad prenuptial agreement which Ariana and Dalton both signed before they walked down the aisle. But it really makes you wonder what was exactly in their agreement and how much Dalton could still take if things were to go wrong. Number 2, cultural appropriation. Back in 2021, Ariana and her husband Dalton would be accused of mocking Native American cultures in a now deleted Instagram video. The clip reposted by Ariana would resurface online and it would quickly be shared by various Twitter accounts. While the victorious actress and her husband were joined by a few friends, the group could be seen participating in a native dance while sitting at the center of the circle. Ariana could be seen singing, laughing, while spinning a huge piece of cloth around in the air, while the other people in the short video were allegedly whooping and drumming along with her. The singer then went on to receive backlash from a number of upset fans for mocking Native American culture, with one fan writing, "Ariana disrespecting indigenous people's culture. Americans have such a long history of dehumanizing Native Americans, but shouldn't we hold those with a platform to a higher standard, even if it was bare minimum?" As many people went on to drag Ariana, what made matters even worse is when fans started to tell Native Americans who were voicing their opinions as they were upset over the star's behavior, they were being told to shut up, and Ariana just sat there and watched it all happen. And coming in number 1 today with Justin Bieber. For years now, it seems like everyone has been shipping Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber to get together, with both being superstars. They're the same age, and I mean, it's really not hard to see why so many fans believe they could be the perfect celebrity couple. While Justin may be married to Hailey Baldwin, and Ariana may be dating other guys and is now married, it doesn't mean that they're not meant to be together. They have so much in common, and they've been friends for years. For some reason, fate just doesn't bring them together, but that doesn't mean we might not see them come together in the future. From the stars going on tour with each other, Ariana being a huge fan, they got to know each other personally. In 2013, they were even spotted sharing a kiss that broke the internet. Well, Ariana did come out to clear the air and said that their kiss meant nothing. It made a lot of people wonder if she was only saying this because she didn't want to step on Selena's toes. And can we just talk about all the backstage love they've been sharing behind the scenes together, as we can't help but notice they can't stay away from each other. And with this whole Stuck With You collab, it just seemed like they made the video to tell their significant others they were happy to be stuck inside with them because they couldn't be with each other. But maybe I'm just looking too deep into things because I don't like Hailey.
Number 10. How they met. In an interview with Harper's Bazaar UK in 2019, Sophie spoke about their meeting, and she basically said they got set up. She explained that they had a lot of mutual friends and they had been trying to introduce them for quite some time. Apparently they were following each other on Instagram, and he direct messaged her one fine day out of the blue. Soon after the meeting, he invited her to meet up with his tour that was passing through the UK. She said that the two of them had an instant connection, even though she hadn't expected to like him. She said he didn't bring security, he brought a friend, and they drank just as hard as the rest of us. I remember us two spending only a couple of minutes on the dance, and then we found a space in the far corner and we just talked. Sophie went on to say that they talked for hours and hours, but that she was never bored. She felt that the conversation wasn't contrived, it wasn't small talk. From her point of view, it was just easy. She said soon they were inseparable, and then she went on tour with him. So at that point, it seemed like she had really fallen hard for this dude, and marriage came very quickly after that. Like very quickly, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Number 9. Age is but a number. Joe was 28 years years old when he popped the question to his then 21-year-old girlfriend Sophie. A lot of people believe that age is just a number. Many didn't find this to be a big deal at first. An insider close to the couple revealed that they were madly in love, and while Sophie is a bit younger than he is, she grew up in a small English town, so it's not completely out of the ordinary for an age difference to be glossed over. Many fans also came to her defense, citing her mental maturity. While she may have been 21, she was forced to grow up very fast, and because of that, she was probably closer to like a 30-year-old mentally speaking. The red flag is that much like celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio or Al Pacino, Joe tends to date people much younger than himself, like supermodel Gigi Hadid. His oldest girlfriend was Taylor Swift. She was a whole 4 months older than him. Wow, make way for grandma! Despite how uncomfortable many fans found the age gap to be, the couple did not care, and really, that's what matters. Number 8. Flirty McGurty. When these two first got together, it was believed that Joe had all of the leverage. Why? Well, Sophie was into him for quite some time, but she was aware that at the time, Joe was not known for his commitment skills. When they first met, he was a player, and according to several women, he was seeing them simultaneously and without each other's knowledge. Joe's tone shifted though when he met Sophie. By December of 2016, he was becoming a one-woman kind of guy. According to Sophie, they were intoxicated with each other and they started dating exclusively. However, it appears that he was playing the field for so long that he's forgotten to turn off his game. Joe was still flirting with women at his shows, and while it may have been accidental, the fact that he's not aware of what he's doing was cause for concern. Not only has Joe flirted with other people in the past, but apparently his ex Sophie did as well, with one of Joe's close friends whose jaw literally dropped when he saw her in real life. Number 7. The private PDA? Despite crying out to the public to just leave them alone, Sophie and Joe were known for their aggressive PDA. Whether it's getting cozy at an awards show, or at a Kings of Leon's concert, or during a shopping trip. Page 6 reported that in May of 2017, the couple went into a dressing room together in a Soho boutique. According to the report, the couple entered the change room and a customer noticed both of them in bare feet below the door. Now, while it's super creepy that someone was just peeking under doors in Soho, it was clear that Sophie was trying on clothes for Joe in the privacy of their own little room. When they exited, they noticed the couple to be giggly and very touchy-feely. Now, while being close isn't a bad thing per se, these two have constantly asked the world to ignore them and stop focusing on their love lives. Well, hey man, then stop licking your wife in public. Number 6. In and out. Las Vegas weddings. Quick, easy, and everlasting. Joe and Sophie tied the knot in Las Vegas after publicly claiming several times that they were in no rush to get married. After telling the world they'd be taking time off for themselves following their engagement, it was not less than a month later that they tied the knot and attended the Billboard Music Awards right after getting their license, like on the exact same day. They went to a little wedding chapel in Las Vegas that's famous for its star weddings, like Britney Spears' marriage to her friend Jason Alexander for 2 days. Not to mention, the wedding featured some huge Vegas cliches. There was an Elvis impersonator literally officiating the thing. Many speculate that Joe was trying to prove something to his brothers by throwing the exact opposite of their weddings. Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra had an extravagant $1 million wedding spanning multiple days. The only people in attendance for Joe and Sophie were Joe's brothers, DJ Khaled and Diplo. They also didn't wear the traditional dress and suit, instead opting for slacks and jeans. To cap it all off, they used ring pops instead of real rings to seal the deal. Man, I feel like I'm describing a dream that I had. Number 5. Sophie was hesitant. Sophie Turner previously admitted to OK Australia in 2016 that she's never dated anyone who she didn't know before or who is in the industry. Her reasoning? Well, in addition to being more focused on her career than her love life at the time, she claimed that their lifestyles were a contributing factor. Joe and Sophie had different ideas of what was fun. She went on to say how on-set romances are amazing, but they tend to be very temporary when it comes to their time together, so that was a big fear for her. The logistics seemed to be her main concern as well. If she was filming in Australia and he was on tour in the States, how would that work? They'd never see each other. After getting together officially with Joe, Sophie did admit that she felt like she was in a fishbowl. Frustratingly for her, the smallest thing would be made into headline news. If she stubbed her toe on the sidewalk, it was in the front page. Her frustrations are legitimate, but why maintain this charade for so long if you're uncomfortable from the start? Number 4. Short and sweet. Before being engaged, the couple only dated for a very short time. Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner were first linked after attending a Halloween party together in 2016. The singer showed up dressed dressed as a Dalmatian, while his love interest sported some pink sequins bunny ears, according to People magazine. Less than a week later, they were spotted looking very comfortable at the pre-MTV European Music Awards event in the Netherlands, where Kings of Leon's performed. Less than a year after getting together, Sophie was spotted with a ring on her finger, and the engagement was confirmed. Many people get engaged early in their relationship, but as you've seen through this video, this was a case of rushing into things a little too quickly considering some of the other entries on this list. Number 3, she's messing with a gold digger. According to an inside source close to the couple, Joe was beyond excited when he started dating Sophie, and it sounds like it's because of her money. According to the source, one of the main reasons that Joe is so smitten with his ex-man wife is because she is able to provide for herself and for him. Apparently, Sophie does not let Joe pay for most things, something the musician is not used to. When speaking about his wife in interviews, Joe kinda just backed up the whole gold digger theory, as the first and foremost thing that he mentions is how much he loves her independence. He literally said, "She buys me stuff all the time. I love it." While many praised Sophie for her efforts, many people started pointing out the red flag and expressing their discomfort knowing that Joe Jonas doesn't pay the bill when he's out with his lady. Maybe that's why they're getting divorced. Maybe she kept the tabs and the bill finally came due. Number 2, different love languages. According to Sophie herself, she learned that a majority of what she knows about physical intimacy was from her time on the HBO series Game of Thrones. I'm not sure why this needs to be said, but I'm gonna say it. Don't treat Game of Thrones as something to learn from. Dragons aren't real. They're not real, Nate. Thanks to the show, it may have skewed her view on what proper intimacy looks like. Meanwhile, Joe just seems to love chit-chatting about his private parts. Seriously, like every chance this guy gets, it's genitalia. He boasted to Vulture in December of 2013 about removing his purity ring, which himself and his brothers Kevin and Nick rocked during their Disney days. In October of 2016, he then talked about the size of his little dinghy compared to that of his brothers, which is just too much information. Very uncomfortable. He goes on to recount the time that he lost his V card and about becoming a little bit too excited while filming music videos with Ashley Graham and Charlotte McKinney. Sophie has expressed her disappointment in this lack of restraint and has begged him to quit numerous times, but he persists and now they're divorced. And at number 1, Joe took off his wedding ring first. In the weeks leading up to this divorce announcement, Joe was photographed without his wedding ring quite a few times. One of those moments was as far back as August 11th, when he was picking up an iced coffee in New York City. But since then, he's made a point of wearing it again, even as the couple have officially filed for divorce. On Monday, Joe posted a black and white photo on Instagram that showed him looking at the camera and holding a cup with his wedding band prominently on full display. Then, just this morning, he posted a statement to Instagram claiming that it was from the two of them. It said, "After 4 wonderful years of marriage, we have mutually decided to amicably end our marriage. There are many speculative narratives as to why, but truly this is a united decision and we sincerely hope that everyone can respect our wishes for privacy for us and our children." This is quite a shock considering that the news only broke a few days ago. Sources spoke to TMZ and said that Joe had his people contact at least 2 divorce lawyers in LA, and the couple has had serious problems in their relationship for at least 6 months. So those are the red flags that we miss when it comes to Joe and Sophie. What do you think has caused this split? At the time of filming this, right now, it's still up in the air, so who knows? Let us know your thoughts in the comments and be nice. Perhaps we'll all have an update soon. Number 10, Natalie Portman and Benjamin Millipede. After 11 years of marriage, it was recently announced that the Thor: Love and Thunder star Natalie Portman and her husband Benjamin Millipede will be separating following a very public and messy affair on Ben's part. Ben, who is definitely named after a kid's cartoon, can't remember which one, was spotted with a 25-year-old climate activist while Portman was off doing something. Portman was initially pretty mad, but then she tried to work things out with Ben in an attempt to save their marriage, but the affair put a massive strain on the relationship and it doesn't look like it's going to be working out. The couple had met on the set of the 2009 drama Black Swan, with Ben acting as a scriptwriter for the project. While the affair had shaken their relationship, when asked about the issues by US Weekly, Ben said that he shared her pain and he was actually working on a new script that's on its way to her desk. Now, while they may still be working together professionally, emotionally speaking, these two, I'm pretty sure they've checked out. Number 9, Jeremy Allen White and Addison Timlin. Jeremy made a big move in the acting world after his FX comedy The Bear premiered on Disney Plus and other streaming services this past year, but he actually has been making people laugh, cry, and screen since we were introduced to him as Lip Gallagher in the hit TV series Shameless, a show that I definitely haven't watched 15 times in a row. Wouldn't do that. He met his future wife Addison on set of a film called After School in 2008, and they were close friends for like 12 years before they became an official item in 2019. The relationship was mainly taking place behind the scenes, apart from a few Instagram posts here and there, but Jeremy's love for his wife has been well known since his acceptance speech at the 2023 Golden Globes, where he won the award for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy TV Series. Unfortunately, roughly a few months ago, Addison filed for a divorce from Jeremy with little to no explanation. 3 days following the divorce announcement, she posted a pic with herself and her daughter on Instagram with the caption saying "single mom," which was news to Jeremy, who was under the impression that they would be, continuing to work together as co-parents. While their relationship may have ended in a mess, there might be a new one on the horizon because Jeremy has been spotted with Wizards of Waverly Place alumni Selena Gomez. So Alex Russo and Lip Gallagher would make very cute babies together. Number 8, Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner. Joe and Sophie got together back in 2016 after they'd been set up by mutual friends, something that they had been trying to do for a long time. They got together and instantly fell in love, getting married just over a year after getting together. Sophie admitted to Rolling Stones in 2019 that she was hesitant at first. Joe was this big musician and she was a big TV and film star, meaning that at times they would be on opposite ends of the world. Eventually she warmed up and got together with Joe officially. The split comes out of nowhere. For the most part, their relationship seemed to be stable on the outside. They were never apart or involved in a cheating scandal, which is surprising considering Joe's lack of discretion in the past. There were never any strange rumors or photos, they were just this happy couple. But as of September 1st, Joe Jonas has filed for a divorce from Sophie, with the only current information being that Joe is claiming the relationship to be irretrievably broken. There haven't been a ton of specific details, but rumors are running rampant. Something pretty serious must have gone on in a very short amount of time, because only hours before the announcement, Joe posted a photo of himself to Instagram with his wedding ring on. So despite the minimal amount of tea spilt, there are a ton of reasons that divorce is messy. Number 7, Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater. So bear with me here. This divorce is actually caused by Ariana Grande, and there's actually a relationship that came out of it, so strap in. The pop star and Broadway giant are set to star in a film adaptation of the Broadway hit Wicked, following the story of the Wicked Witch before the events of The Wizard of Oz. Ariana Grande plays Glinda the Good, and Slater is Bach, the main love interest of the Wicked Witch. If you don't know who these people are, Ariana Grande was Nickelodeon and she's a big musician now, and Ethan Slater played SpongeBob on Broadway. It's ironic that Ariana is the good witch though, as she appears to have stolen another woman's man. Ethan was married to a lady named Lily J since 2018, and they even welcomed their first child together in 2022. Apparently Ariana and Ethan fell in love on set, and they've started dating behind the scenes. However, an on-set insider shared that information to Slater's wife, who was furious. Gee, who would have guessed? While the couple have agreed to raise their child as co-parents, Ethan eventually filed for a divorce in July of this year. Number 6, Britney Spears and Sam Asghari. Britney and Sam's marriage is in shambles. This couple got together back in 2016, and they seemed to be great on the outside. As Britney was getting better overall, her relationship with Sam started getting more and more serious. Sam was right there by her side through thick and thin, and eventually they tied the knot in 2022, which is why it was so devastating for fans to learn that the couple was calling it quits only a couple of months ago. The words used on the actual divorce paper says irreconcilable differences, which for Hollywood people tends to mean nothing good. Sam was the one who officially filed for the divorce, demanding that Britney pay spousal support and attorney fees. Since this news is so recent, there's not a ton of updates on how this couple are doing or how deep into the process of the divorce they are. Britney once again made headlines in the media, something that she hasn't really done since, the early 2010s, and her divorce was covered constantly. So far, the internet has been weighing their decisions in ever since, and it's just getting worse and worse. Number 5, Joe Alwyn and Taylor Swift. Joe Alwyn made his big screen debut playing the titular character in Ang Lee's 2016 drama Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. The film tells the story of Billy, a private in the military who returns home and is praised as a hero, but through a series of flashbacks we learn what really happened during his time away from home. The movie received critical acclaim, and Joe's career was kicked off. He co-starred in several other other projects since then, but made paparazzi's front page after rumors of his supposed cheating on Taylor Swift. Joe and Taylor spent 6 years together before calling it quits, with this being one of her longest relationships to date. Now we have to wonder what split them up. Well, rumor has it that they broke up because Joe was cheating on Taylor with one of his co-stars of The Brutalist, Emma Laird. Emma posted a photo on Instagram with the caption "Moments in March" and a little heart emoji, and while there were plenty of pictures in the album, there was one that stuck out, and it was Joe appearing to hop on a little electric scooter with no Taylor in sight and no explanation as to why they were together. The reaction from Swifties was so strong that Emma had to turn off her comments. Since news broke of the split between Alwyn and Swift, Emma has been spotted comforting Joe, only adding more fuel to that rumor. Number 4, Lily Reinhart and Cole Sprouse. Cole Sprouse and Lily met on the set of Riverdale in 2016 while filming the pilot episode of the series that finally ended after being the most confusing show of all time. I had to stop after 3 seasons because they started talking about D&D and then Stranger Things, and I don't know, man, it's weird. Anyway, they fell in love playing Jughead and Betty, having a relationship that lasted almost 7 years. In 2020, things started to go downhill. They were plagued by cheating rumors and things had apparently become a little bit heavy behind the scenes, according to Cole. Towards the end of that year, they confirmed the split online. However, this year, Cole spoke out about the breakup while having a cancer stick in the middle of an interview, claiming he didn't want to get too deep into the topic, but that it was a mutual decision, man. Lily began receiving violent and threatening messages following the interview as well as the end of the show. This past week, the rumors arose once more and fans are becoming online true detectives once more to uncover the truth. Just imagine that's like a little glass, my eye gets bigger. Number 3, Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore. What's up with Ashton Kutcher these days? Does he still do Punk'd? In case, Punk'd doesn't unlock anything for you, let's talk about Ashton's past for a moment. Ashton rose to fame following his successful role in the hit sitcom That 70s Show, as well as his time on MTV on the prank series Punk'd. He married fellow actor Demi Moore in 2005 and stayed married for like 8 years. The split seemed to come out of nowhere, but there was some speculation that Ashton ended things to be with his current wife, Mila Kunis. That speculation was revealed to be complete bull poo-poo though, or was it? In Demi's book titled Inside Out, she revealed that the cause of the split was due to Ashton's infidelity and not really specifying it. Apparently he cheated on her multiple times and pressured her into including a third party in their escapades, wishing to, open their marriage to new company. When Ashton found out about the news becoming public, he was royally upset. According to Ashton, he had finally gotten to a place where the media was leaving him and his family alone, and the next day after the news broke, paparazzi were waiting for Ashton at his kid's school. Not only did his cheating ruin his relationship with Demi, but it kinda ruined his relationship with his family as well. So I hope Mila was worth it. Number 2, Drake Bell and Janet von Schmeling. Drake was a small screen sweetheart in the early 2000s, being in several Nickelodeon shows like Drake and Josh and The Amanda Bynes Show. He was on track to being a megastar in the world of Hollywood, but unfortunately he is just one of those child stars who took a turn for the worst. He starred in a ton of low-budget flicks over the years, but his status as a celebrity was gone by the time he got to 2021, where all of his bad habits culminated in the final nail being driven into his coffin. Drake was sentenced to 2 years of probation and 200 hours of community service after it was revealed that he had been grooming a fan for years. So if you see him on the side of the street picking up trash, it's probably why. Recently, it was announced that his wife Janet was going to be filing for a divorce from Drake after a situation where he was missing for 5 days on a supposed bender doing nobody knows what to nobody knows who. And on the actual paperwork, Vaughn has cited irreconcilable differences and has requested legal and physical custody of the younglings. In April of this year, Drake was reported missing only to turn up 5 days later. According to Janet, his mental health has slowly been declining in the last few years, but his toxic traits towards his partners is nothing new, as his ex Melissa Langefeld accused him of being verbally manipulative and physically violent when they were together. Number 1, Reese Witherspoon and Jim Toth. Over the years, Reese made quite the name for herself, starring in films like Legally Blonde, Walk the Line, Hot Pursuit. She's well known for being a comedic actor able to tap into her serious side when the time comes for it. Along for the ride right up till 2023 was Jim Toth. Jim has starred in a handful of projects, but mainly acts as a producer creating sitcoms like According to Jim. The couple first got together in 2011 and then quickly tied the knot. Over the last 12 years, there's never been a sign that this couple was heading for disaster, but that might be due in part to them not getting out much. Reese has continued to act fairly steadily over the years, but for some reason has been appearing less and less in public. Perhaps there was something going on behind the scenes, as the announcement came only 2 days before they were going to celebrate their 12-year anniversary. According to a statement released by both of them, the decision was mutual, saying they enjoyed their time with each other, but things just don't work out sometimes.